What's good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason. We are back here for another one. I hope everyone had a fantastic week. Shout out to Chris, aka CT Hypertrophy, for his birthday. Appreciate you, man. Hope you had a great birthday. Shout out to everyone already showing up in the comments. We already got 83 people. And I mean, let's be honest. We're going to probably have more people live than the total amount of views that shitty extra yard show on 5 Reasons Sports does. I mean, how do you have 12,500 subscribers, but you're out here doing 300, 400 views? How embarrassing is that? I mean, isn't that a point where you should probably tell yourself it ain't working? I shouldn't be doing this, especially when you're doing it pro bono, when you're not even getting paid for this. I mean, God damn, put the mic down, maybe move on with your life because it ain't working. I mean, if you guys remember that old commercial with the kid who says, people think I eat too many chocolate bars. Well, one of their hosts, Juan, looks exactly like that guy. And he has about as much charisma as the hair between my ass cheeks. And the other guy, this K guy or Kai or whatever that I got into a little bit with on Twitter a couple of days ago. I mean, the guy looks like he literally looks like Jesse Hyman and Tim Curry had a love child. And if you don't believe me, I mean, I will let the pictures speak for themselves right now. I mean, am I wrong? Does that not look like Jesse Hyman and Tim Curry had a love child? I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. I mean, 5 Reasons Sports, I hate to be the ones to tell you it, but on YouTube, there's only one reason, and that's me. And y'all could never, ever, ever hold a candle to me and what I do with this football shit, ever. He literally looks like Jesse Hyman and Tim Curry had a love child. Good God. Unbelievable. Unreal, man. Yeah, Mr. 305 for real. You know I'm a person. I mean, God damn, I apologize for you having to know someone like that, bro. I mean, let's be honest. Dog, I've seen assholes prettier than this girl. This guy. Let's be honest, okay? I'm sure, my Doberman used to walk in front of me on his leash, and he used to prop his ass up in the air, and that was a prettier sight than what this kid looks like. Bruh, you're a clown, and you're an even bigger clown because you called me out. You wanted to beef. I gave you the smoke. I shut you up, and then you came around and you deleted the tweets. By the way, shout out to Jose Valdez for becoming a YouTube member. Appreciate you. Also, shout out to Tony Asawa for becoming a YouTube member. Appreciate you as well. But, I mean, God damn. I mean, talk about ugly. You fell out of the tree and hit every branch on the way down, and then you hit the roots of the ugly tree. Bro, look at you, smiling like a fool. You actually had the audacity on your last extra yard show to drop my name. Bro, y'all could never hold a candle to me in this YouTube game. Ever. I crush 5 Reasons Sports. Everything y'all try to do, we out here, we destroy you guys. Look at the people in the comments. I've educated these people in the comments here right now on football. They forget more in a day about the game of football than you guys realize. And this Juan fool, father of 2 queens. He says he's a father of 2 girls. Yet he was out here without the facts. Now, y'all remember when I said Deshaun Watson, I said, you got to take what the girls are saying at face value, but you also can't be calling Deshaun Watson guilty until he's proven that. So you got to find a medium. This is a guy who was out here saying we needed to trade for Deshaun Watson because the women are out here lying. Bro, and you have daughters. What kind of father are you, bro? So what? Your daughter's going to come to you one day. They get in the massage business. They say they're working on an athlete. The athlete sexual harasses them, and you're going to sit there and say they're liars? Bro, what a clown. Bro, and you're trying to beat someone, and I got DMs of you, Juan, asking me for help so you could get over more in this YouTube game. Remember, you were the one who came to me for help. I don't need nothing from you. Because, like I said, you ain't on my level. Y'all couldn't hold my jock strap on my worst day, let alone my best day. Like, give me a break. I bring Houts up here. We do 4,000 or 5,000 views. Y'all bring Houts up there. You do 400 views. Why? Because there's pubic hair in this world that has more charisma than you guys do. You guys are the worst show. The extra yard, more like a loss of 5 on third down. That's what that show should be called, because it's shit. Y'all could never, ever, ever get on my level, man. Ever. Ever. Period. Bunch of clowns, man. This man out here. Are you for real? Unreal, bro. Like, these people actually think the guy looks like the human version of Toad from Super Mario Brother. Give me a break, all right? Clowns. Absolutely clowns. Yo, I'll talk football when I want to talk football, man. Y'all don't dictate to me. I told them I was going to get them. I gave them warning not to talk about me. They decided to talk about me, and I told them I would get them. All right? So I'll talk about football. Don't worry, we're going to talk football. But first, I'm a man of my word, and I'll stick to my word. All right? Get out of here, you bunch of clowns. One of you looks like the guy from people say ate too many chocolate bars commercial, the acne commercial. And the other one looks like the human version of fucking Toad from Super Mario Brother. Unreal. Unbelievable, bro. Don't think I ain't seen your girls too. Y'all out here marrying and wifing up 4s and 5s and bragging about them on Instagram. God damn. Me, I don't marry less than an 8, bro. Unreal. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Let me repeat. 5 reasons sports? Nah, never that. There's only one reason when it comes to this Miami Dolphins shit. On a lighter note, I got to shout out TD. I know he went live a bunch of times today. But, I hit up TD yesterday after the Miami sports talk, and, TD's got some stuff going on in his personal life right now. And, I wish you nothing but blessings and prayers up for you, man. I hope everything's going well behind the scenes, my guy. I know you were, dealing with stuff to a late point last night, man. I wanted to say, I hope everything's good with you, man. I hope everything is going good, bro. So, yeah, man, prayers up for TD and everything he's got going on right now. And again, shout out to Chris in the comments. Happy birthday to you, homie. Thanks for spending some of your birthday with all of us watching this in, man. So appreciate it. Larry, no one listens to 5 Reasons Sports. It's pathetic. So yeah, shout out to Chris. Shout out to TD. Hope everything's going well with you, TD. So yeah. Hey man, Chris, I'm always here, bro. I'm always here. Always here, bro. I got you. All right, so let's hop into this. We got a bunch of stuff going on. Appreciate you, Sean. How you doing, man? Hope everything's doing well. Tell Laramie we might need him by the end of this season, bro. Tell him we might need him by the end of the season, bro. Depending on how things go. Smash that like button if you're new here. Subscribe, show some love. Y'all already know what time it is. If you want to join the Patreon, appreciate all the new Patrons we've had, as well as some of you that have upped your recent donations on Patreon, your pledges. Appreciate y'all, man. So thank you, man. It really helps, especially when I get demonetized. And I went to go finish off the Raekwon Davis stuff yesterday, and NFL Game Pass is down right now. I guess they said they're getting, I haven't checked it today, but I went yesterday at about 11 p.m. And then I went on Twitter and I saw that they'd been down for about 2 days because I guess they're getting prepared for the 2021 season. So, yeah, I'm gonna finish that up this weekend for sure. What up, Todd? How you doing, bro? Hey, yo, y'all need to already know what time it is. I ain't like all these other people. Okay? You get on my bad side, I'm gonna give you the work. Period. And I will use my platform to bury you. Period. I'll get to the Dolphins content, but I bury people first if they step out of pocket with me. All right? That's it. So if you want to join the channel, become a member like Jose Valdez and Tony Usawa did earlier, right below me, you'll see the join button. There's also in the description a link you can click on, go right to join. Badges that update every certain amount of months. And then also you'll be able to use the emojis that you see certain people using in the comments. I think we have like 12 or 13 right now. I'll be adding a few more emojis this week. Also, members and Patreons are going to have first access to the Raekwon Davis film study and the Xavien Howard film study when they drop. All right. So yeah. Anyways, get the Hearst reason ain't no joke. Damn right, man. Exactly, Ice Cold. Undertaker, bro. Except they ain't resting in peace, they resting in piss. That's how it works, bro. So, all right. Don't mention my name. Like, you're gonna go live on YouTube and try and shit on me? Bro, I don't think so, dude. I literally wouldn't have said anything if they didn't say anything first. And you got this guy running his mouth and this one fool snickering in the background, the guy who just asked me to be in his fantasy league, and a couple days ago I turned him down. You know what I mean, bro? You're asking the one asking me for stuff. I ain't asking you for nothing. So let's get into everything. We got a lot to cover. Then I'll open it up to you guys. Yeah. So where do we start here? Let's start off with the first announcement of the day. And that first announcement of the day was from Ian Rappaport, and it was the Dolphins signed Shaquem Griffin to a 1-year deal. He's going to be more of a special teams addition. Then again, because of the scheme we run, because he's going to be able to shoot through gaps and not necessarily just be coming off the edge, if he gets more usage on our defense, I think he could be a little bit more viable in terms of as a pass rusher than what he was in Seattle. I think, I definitely think he at least makes special teams. I think this is a good depth addition. Like I said, because of our scheme, I could see him being effective with how they use him. You know, like I said, shooting gaps, not just coming off the edge. So I think Shaquem Griffin is a good. I love this signing. I personally really do. I mean, the guy's a fantastic. I mean, the guy is literally a fantastic tackler. You can't knock this guy's tackle ability. And you know what? I know people want to talk crap about, I saw people cracking jokes about, you know what I mean? The defect he has, but he's actually pretty good in coverage. He's not a liability per se in coverage. I mean, and he was a very good player at UCF. And he's arguably, let's be honest with ourselves, Shaquem Griffin is arguably one of the best athletes we have in the front seven. Like, he is a fantastic athlete. You know what I mean? Like, I think I love the signing of Shaquem Griffin. I think it's a smart deal. And obviously, because they didn't disclose financials, it's probably for like veteran minimum, and he's only 26. You know what I mean? So I don't mind it at all. I mean, by any stretch of the imagination, he only had 67 pass rush snaps this past year, and he produced 7 pressures, one sack, 2 hits, 4 hurries. So again, in coverage, he had 30 snaps, and he was targeted 3 times for 1 reception, for 18 yards. His snaps have gone down. Well, actually, this past year he had 113 snaps. The year before 110. The year before that 50. And you know what I mean? I think this is a fantastic addition in terms of special teams depth. This is a guy, and I see people in the comments saying bye Mac Hollins. What if this is the gunner opposite to Mac Hollins? Now I predicted it potentially being Trill Williams. Well, yeah, Don, no, he's not better than Jerome Baker. Remember, people get like, well, I don't get it. People jump all over me. Dude, I said Jerome Baker is a top 30 linebacker. Okay, there's 32 teams in the NFL. Okay, let's assume, and we all know there's 3-4s, but let's just assume for a minute all 32 teams run a 4-3. Okay, let's just assume all their base is a 4-3. Do the math. That's 96 linebackers. That means he's in the top 33% out of the 96 starting. Now we know it's more because there's teams that run 33-4. I'm just giving you a baseline. How is that a diss on the kid? I'm saying he's in the top 3rd percentile of the NFL in that position. That's not a bad thing. I think we have 2 top 30 linebackers. I think Benardrick McKinney is like a top 25, borderline top 20 linebacker right now. And I think Baker's, I think he's top 30. Big John, that makes me feel the Baker signing was pointless. Nah, man. Baker takes up like 850 snaps a year, bro. This guy brings up like 113 snaps. So, I mean, this is a special teams guy. He's going to earn his paycheck on special teams. So, that's where you got to look for him to make his dollars, is on special teams. So, I personally love the signing. I think it's a fantastic signing. And then more news. Then not too long after, and what's crazy is it was rumored. I mean, we woke last night. I mean, this morning we woke up to Shaquem Griffin's coming in for a visit, and they signed him right away. The next signing is, again, Cre'Von Leblanc, signing a 1-year deal with the Dolphins, and this happened about 1:00. And this is a guy who is a fantastic slot addition. He's a legit player. The only problem with him is staying healthy. But again, another good athlete, another great addition to this defense. I personally like this signing a lot. Um, you know, I think now you got to ask yourself the question: are him and Coleman the top two legitimate slot options? And does this push Needham and Igbo out to boundary competition? And this has to ask the question: is there something coming down the pipeline with X? Now, talking to the homie Clump, basically what he's been told by his Eagles source is two things. One, the Eagles have upped their offer for Xavien Howard. The Eagles have, it's no longer Derek Barnett in the conditional second from the Colts that could turn into a first. From what he was told now, it's Fletcher Cox and a conditional second that turns into a first. So, now if we're going to be running more 4-man fronts, Fletcher Cox on the inside with Raekwon Davis is ridiculous. So, that's according to Clump. He told me this yesterday. So right now it's Fletcher Cox and that conditional second. It's no Barnett's off the table. So, Fletcher Cox is a top 5 defensive tackle, nose tackle in the NFL right now. But I still don't think that's going to get them to move off of X, if you want my personal opinion. Now, I remember, shout out to Ball Game and EM, we had a huge discussion, and I remember, was it last year? And Fletcher's 30 years old, right? He'll be 31 in December. I remember, so it's only 2 years older than X, right? And this is a guy who, you remember last year, 43 pressures, 8 sacks, 4 hits, 31 hurries. You know what I mean? This is a guy who in 2018, 11 sacks after back-to-back 7-season sacks, 10 sacks the year before that. He's fantastic from a pass rush standpoint, and he also impacts the run. He's great in run defense too. So, he had 23 run stops this past year. So, it would be improving the run defense. So I don't think, and I think the reason why they've now moved up to Fletcher Cox is because, like I've been telling you, from what I've been told, we're going to be running some more 4-man fronts this year, right? And if you put him and Raekwon on the inside, that's kind of disgusting. Now, the glaring issue that you would have with adding a guy like Fletcher Cox, is his contract isn't overly favorable. So if you remember, he signed like a 6-year, $102.6 million contract with the Philadelphia Eagles. And basically right now, if you were to go onto his numbers, right now his base salary for this year is $15 million, and he has a cap hit this year of $23.8 million. And if you look at his contract, you don't have an out until 2023. Because this year he has 22 million of dead cap. The year after he has 13 million. 2023 it's 6.4, and then 2024 it's 1.43 million in terms of dead cap. So, a lot of money on the table. I mean, like, so he's getting into the back end. His deal was backloaded. So, the Eagles would have to take on some of that money, you would think, because I mean, even at X, that's double the cost of X. So, I don't know. I don't think they'll budge on the Fletcher Cox. You know, I would be, hey, you never know. The other thing that came through down the clump from his guy was the belief in the Eagles organization is that Xavien Howard is going to be a Cowboy if he gets traded. Now, if you saw what Omar Kelly said today, I'll show you guys exactly what Omar Kelly said today, but there's a couple interesting things in regards to what Omar Kelly said. It's it's kind of crazy. So let's see this. Bring it up for you guys right here. Let me just put that down. If here, I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about here. If Howard was going to be traded to Dallas, it would have been done already. Howard's been on the trade block for a minute. So someone asked him about the Cowboys. Now, the thing that sticks out to me out of all of this stuff is right here about Howard been on the trade block for a minute. Like, that's kind of crazy to me. I mean, that lets you know that right now they've clearly been entertaining offers. And again, the reason why you can take what Omar is saying at face value is, I mean, you heard him. You know, he said the room that he's most welcome in is the corners. And I know him and X have a relationship. I mean, remember, the Miami Dolphins put out a statement and they tried to basically put him on blast. And I mean, what happened? It was all because Omar said back in October that they've been listening to trade offers for X. And then a couple weeks ago, Barry Jackson comes out and says Xavien Howard told him he's cool with getting traded. He told the team that he's conveyed to them he's not asking for a trade, but he's okay if they trade him. So Barry Jackson, and Barry Jackson even said that was back in October. So the team came out and tried to cancel Omar Kelly, but Omar Kelly was telling the truth. If you actually go back and do the research on it, because it's now been confirmed by other people. J Hag, heard the X offers have been garbage like the rest of the league doesn't. I told all of y'all. Some people are out here thinking they're going to get a Laramie Tunsil return. You're not getting it by any stretch of the imagination. By any stretch. like at all. At all. So, I mean, you tell me. I mean, I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say at all. So, I mean, that's your update basically right now on that. I mean, let's see what happens. I mean, we will see what that happens. Hold on a sec here. Give me a sec, everyone. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen, guys. I mean, I personally think he's gonna show up. I personally think he's gonna show up. If you want my honest opinion, I think I think he's going to show up. I think I don't think they're gonna get offers that are gonna blow them away. I just don't think it's gonna happen. So I don't even think that they're gonna go out and take the Fletcher Cox deal. I think personally, um, unless the team blows them away, like I don't know if you guys saw, but the New Orleans Saints safety. Let me bring it up. What's his name? I'm trying to forget. I forget what his name was. Da, 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 da. It was. Oh man. What the hell was his name? Let me tell you. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Um. The it was. Oh, Chauncey Gardner Johnson came out yesterday, and he was basically tweeting and implying that he was basically implying that X is going to be added to that secondary. And what's crazy to me about that is, I mean, let's be honest here. You know, why do you coaches get hit with fines and for tampering, yet let's be real. I mean, players can be out here and basically recruiting. It's unbelievable. Like, and I know it happens in every sport, but why aren't players being held to that same standard? Answer me that. Someone answer me that. So, I don't know. I mean, he basically listed everyone they had in their secondary and added Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to it. And what happened? I don't get it. I mean, does he know something we don't know, or is he just out here recruiting? Because if he's out here recruiting, then I'm not as worried. But because here's the thing, it's like you go on Instagram, right? And it's like Javon Holland signed his contract today, all right, for example. And, Micah Parsons was commenting on it. All these guys talk. And the Saints have been one of the teams that have been heavily linked to us. And they also have Lattimore's dealing with gun possession charges. So you don't know if he's going to be back. You know what I mean? So, and right now I think they have like 11 here. Let me see what they have. They have money right now. They have $11.379 million. So, I mean, was Lattimore's gun possession charges dropped, Pete? I'm not seeing. I saw he bonded out of jail. I'm not seeing that they got dropped. Let me see. I'm not seeing that they got dropped. Let me see. Hold on. Legal issues. Like it says on Mar, he was arrested and who is possession of a loaded handgun that was believed to be stolen and was charged with possession of a concealed weapon and receiving stolen property, a 4th-degree felony. He was booked into Cuyahoga County Jail with bond set at $5,000. It doesn't say they've been dropped. Yeah, I don't think they've. I don't think they've been dropped at all. So that's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Anyway, so it's going to be interesting to see if Marshawn Lattimore how that works out with Marshawn Lattimore, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I mean, the other thing with LeBlanc is people are trying to say camp body. He's actually a legit player, man. He just hasn't been able to stay healthy. That's been his big problem. All right. So another interesting thing that's, I mean, kind of crazy is and hold on a sec. Um, all right. So, um, another thing that you actually have to go on to the Miami Dolphins um website. You can't even actually see it if you go on uh if you like they didn't really formally announce it. So you actually have to go onto the website and go under transactions. And what you'll see is, you know, they cut they waived Nick Coe and long snapper Rex Sunhara, and which that means now Blake Ferguson is the only long snapper on the team. Nick Coe, we all didn't expect him to make the team. But the last part here is linebacker Benardrick McKinney restructured his contract. Now, the crazy thing is they did not give us they did not give us they didn't give us financial details. And we don't know how much of his contract was restructured. So we don't know how much money. I kind of find it interesting that they restructure Benardrick McKinney's numbers, and then here comes um here comes um he I find it interesting that they restructure him and then all of a sudden they go out and they sign Javon Holland. So um yo Roman, I know exactly what you're talking about with Juan. Exactly. Juan did was he retweeted me when I retweeted. I told y'all before I used to be in the hip hop industry. So I've retweeted lyrics that an artist said and a producer said in a tweet. And all I've done is I posted lyrics from songs, and those are back in like 2011, 2010. That was 10, 11 years ago. That's all he did, bro. They're literally song lyrics. I mean, nothing racial by any stretch of the imagination. That's really reaching, trying to make me look like a racist, bro. Like ridiculous. So that's all he's trying to do. Anyways, we don't know how much money Benardrick McKinney has freed up. And the restructuring of the contract, is this opening up money so they can pay X and sign the rest of our class? So we've signed Javon Holland, but we still have to sign Hunter Long, and we also have to sign the homie um Liam Eichenberg. So until we get financial details, we have no idea at all. So I mean, until those are released for us and we find out, I have no idea what to say. And yeah, Dokes hasn't been signed. I don't think Larnell Coleman's been signed either. So, but Hunter Long and Liam Eichenberg are the priority right now. So obviously, when we cut Clayton Fledgulum, and we also turn around and we cut what's his face, Jakeem Grant, that's going to clear up some money. Coleman and Dokes have been signed apparently. So we'll see how it works. All right. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I want to see what the numbers are on Benardrick McKinney. Until we see that, I don't know. And camp next week, Roman, starts on Tuesday for us. So, yeah. I mean, it's going to be all about the money. It's going to be what the money looks like that we've cleared up by restructuring Benardrick McKinney. Okay, and then a final thing I wanted to talk about, and it's kind of controversial. Is what Tom Pelissero tweeted out yesterday. And it's this. It's NFL just informed clubs that if a game cannot be rescheduled during the 18-week season in 2021 due to a COVID outbreak among unvaccinated players, the team with the outbreak will forfeit and be credited with a loss for playoff seeding per sources. Massive implications. So to recap, if an outbreak of unvaccinated NFL players causes a game to be canceled, infected team forfeits, takes a loss for playoff seeding, faces financial penalties and possible additional sanctions if protocol is violated. Also, players on both teams do not get paid. Now, this caused quite a stir yesterday. I mean, people were kind of losing it right now. People were absolutely losing it, like DeAndre Hopkins. People were coming out and saying, like, who was it? Someone came out and said, fuck the NFLPA. It's kind of crazy, bro. So, I mean, that's kind of, they're kind of trying to force hands to get people vaccinated. And I know this is a really touchy subject out there. I mean, I've said selfishly, I want people to get vaccinated so I can. Yeah, Matthew Judon's the one that said fuck the NFL, right? I selfishly, I want everyone to get vaccinated so they'll open up the land borders, and because I like to fly out of Buffalo, and but at the same time, everyone has the right to either choose to get vaccinated or choose not to get vaccinated. I would never let my selfish need of wanting to fly out of Buffalo impact people's impact people's, ability to make their own choice. That's like absolutely brutal. Like that's not fair to anyone. And I can't believe that, the NFL has got to this point. I really can't. I think it's absolutely crazy, to be completely honest with you. Like unreal. Um Unreal. So I think they're totally overstepping boundaries here, man. Um, you know, it's it's unbelievable, bro, that the NFL is going to these lengths. Um, I personally am kind of shocked that um that the NFL is now going to this lengths. And the scummy part about it to me is the scummy part about this to me is this. They decided to make this announcement after the opt-out days passed. That's what's crazy. That's what's absolutely nuts about this. Is they waited for the opt-out day after it had passed, and now they make this announcement. Like unreal. Unreal, bro. I think that's kind of scummy on the NFL's part, man. You should have announced this before the opt-out date came through. Because if you would have done that, people could have made an informed decision on this whole situation. But instead, you wait. Like unbelievable. Absolutely believable. I think it's so scummy, man. So, um, yeah, I'm just stunned, bro, that they came through and they decided to do this. Hold on, I got to get someone real quick. I got to get this fool quick. I got to get this fool quick. Had to get someone real quick. Had to get someone real quick. Done. So, yeah, I think the NFL pulled a real slime bucket move. I think I I'm actually shocked that they announced this. Like, I'm actually stunned that they did this after the fact. Like, to me, that's a ridiculous move. Like, I think this is getting ridiculous. So, um, I can't stand by the NFL and what they've done on this one. I think the NFL, I don't know, man. Like I said, I obviously want to be that guy that can fly out of Buffalo and the land borders open up. Problem is, I ain't going to sit there and say, "Oh, all Americans need to get vaccinated." Da, da, da. It's not my place. Just like I don't think this is the NFL's place. They preach the military. You can't kneel because it disrespects the flag. It disrespects America. But then they go there and they impede on people's freedom with what the move they've just pulled. That's what's kind of crazy to me. Like, that's what's kind of crazy to me. So, um, I don't know. I think it's a low move. If you want my honest opinion, I think it's a bad move on their part. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes with them, but personally, um I would this is something that if I was the NFL I wouldn't have touched. Because now you got, I mean, DeAndre Hopkins, he kind of threatened to retire. Now we all know DeAndre Hopkins isn't about to retire. Kevin Yang asked, "Is that a Goodell decision?" I mean, it's got to go through Goodell, right? So, um, I don't. Fantasy fan panel asks, "Is Tua vaccinated?" I don't know, but we're apparently well above the 85% threshold. Apparently, we're beyond the 85% threshold. So I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not one to sit here and I could care less about who does and who doesn't. It's really not my place. It's really not my place to sit there and judge people on if they get vaccinated or not. I mean, I got better things to do with my time, and that's a personal decision. Everyone has the right to do that. I'm only getting, if you want my honest to God truth, I'm only getting vaccinated so I can travel because I know it's going to be the standard, especially, you know, for Canadians to enter through the border. We're probably going to have to be fully vaccinated. That's the only reason I'm doing it. If that wasn't a requirement like I believe it's going to be, then where would we be at? And I mean, let's be honest. I mean, let's be honest. Some of these cases that are coming up right now, these people have been double vaccinated because now you got the Delta variant. So, I mean, hey, I don't usually like to get into politics. It's not my place. Never has been my place. But I mean, it is what it is. If you want to get vaccinated, that's your choice. If you don't want to get vaccinated, that's your choice. Who am I to judge you, bro? Like, I'm just, it's not my place. It'll never, ever be my place. Like, I mean, that's just where it is. And I could care less. Really. As long as I don't get it, cool. I'm good. I'm good. As long as I don't get it. But hey, you guys do you. If you want to get it, cool. If you don't want to get it, again, your choice, man. Um, and I can fly, Pete, but I like to fly out of Buffalo because it's way surprisingly. Check this one out. Even with the conversion, it's far cheaper to fly out of Buffalo than it is like to Florida than it is to fly from Toronto to Florida. Don't ask me why. Couldn't tell you. So that's just always where I've flown out of. So, and you know what? At the same point, there's people out there dying. There's people out there, nurses and doctors having to work overtime, even more than normal because of this pandemic. I feel for those. Obviously, I clearly feel for those people. I mean, shout out to Darth Vader. I mean, you know what I mean? Darth Vader's mother contracted it and passed away. It affected someone directly in our Phinside fam. So, you know, it's such a I'm not here to choose a side. My choice is to get vaccinated. You don't have to get vaccinated. That's your choice. That's your God-given right. If you do believe in God, if you don't, that's your law-abiding right. So I just kind of think it's kind of hypocritical for the NFL to be acting the way they do when they make that big deal about all when they make that big deal out of when they make that huge deal about kneeling because it's disrespecting the military and disrespecting the flag and etc. Well, like impeding on people's rights is disrespecting the flag because that's the Constitution, freedom. So I don't know, man. It is what it is. It's a touchy subject. You can't win or lose whichever side you pick. It's bad. You're gonna displease someone. So I don't like to get into it. Everyone can everyone can make their own decision, man. So, hey, do you, man. So, if you want to do it, if you don't want to, hey, all the power to you. But anyways, yeah, a lot of activity went on today for the Miami Dolphins. Kind of crazy. And shout out to Raiden, like his uncle passed away, you know? He said he had it last year. So it's no joke, man. This is no joke. Samuel says my sister had it and survived, man. Blessings, bro. You know what I mean? I know TD's going through right now, you know, he's going through a health situation with a family member, and you know, I could only imagine, you know what I mean? It doesn't even have to be COVID. Everyone just needs to stay healthy, man, because it's kind of crazy out here, really. It's nuts. So, I'm gonna drop the link. You guys can come up here. We can talk about X, whatever the case may be. So, all right. Yo, Dylan, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on, bro?
British Twin, how are you guys doing tonight?
Hey, Reason.
Healer, what's going on, boys? How are you gentlemen doing?
What's going on, fellas?
What's up, Reason? What's up, boys?
It's a lot to talk about.
There's a ton to talk about, man.
Yeah. Big news. Big news. How y'all doing?
Doing all right so far, man. How's you guys not going so far?
Good.
Yeah, good.
All right.
Nothing crazy personally, thank God for that. So
Luckily. What jersey is that, man, in your closet?
prayers out to other. I have a few. The only current player I have right now is Parker, but I have a Tannehill jersey, I have a Ricky Williams jersey. I actually have a No Sean Moreno jersey for the short time he was with us. Yeah. I thought I had high hopes for him. Thought he was going to be good, and then he got hurt. But anyway. Yeah, so I got a few.
You know, I had a little bit of amnesia today. I was watching an NFL flashback to a St. Louis Rams running back, Steven Jackson. I completely forgot about Steven Jackson. What a running back that guy was. And I completely forgot that, like, 'cause he kind of took over after kind of Marshall Faulk, I believe, and Steven Jackson was a bit of a beast, and I completely forgot about that guy and what a running back he was. And I was just watching a video today about Steven Jackson. I was like, wow, man, that guy could run. And he's like the Rams' all-time leading rusher behind Eric Dickerson. That was crazy, man. What? He was one of those running backs that just kind of passed me by. But yeah, I digress. But yeah, in terms of what you were saying earlier, Reason, I think the Philadelphia Eagles are a very aging team. They've got a lot of veteran players on that team, and I'm not really into this Fletcher Cox deal. I'm really not. I don't think we need Fletcher Cox. I think, in terms of defensive tackles, we've got obviously Raekwon, and we can move Christian Wilkins as a better 4-3 defensive tackle than he is than a rushing end. A defensive end, should I say? I don't think we need Fletcher Cox. I think it's just the Eagles trying to shed a veteran player on a big contract and trying to get Xavien Howard as part of that deal. And for me, I think that the Dolphins can do better than that. And I wouldn't entertain Fletcher Cox in that scenario. I don't know what the rest of you guys think.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's better than Derek Barnett in those scenarios personally. But I mean, yeah, the big contract, he is getting older. Are you going to get the same stuff out of him as, you got from him or they got from him there? I mean, there's definitely, both sides on that. I don't know. I think Reason was right. You're not going to get, and I've thought this for a while, even though I think, personally, with just the caliber of player that X is, I think from just that standpoint, he's probably worth 2 first-round picks, but you're never going to get that because of the health concerns and other things and the contract situation. So, but I do, and it looks like that, by all accounts, that he likely will show up to training camp. I'm still pretty convinced something's going to end up happening and he'll end up getting traded, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, would you guys even entertain Fletcher Cox in a couple a couple. I gotta address something first because you guys are probably all wondering what's reason been distracted by. I'm sure you guys are wondering that. Okay, so I'm gonna show y'all what went down. No, I'm gonna show y'all what went down. So, as people know, I've told this story. I used to be in the hip hop game. Okay, I used to own my own record label. All right, I used to A&R. I used to manage. I had artists in Connecticut, Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, all over. Okay, and this one guy must have tuned into the beginning and heard me giving him that work, because this is exactly what went down, people. What happened was this. I got a message from someone saying, yo, this guy's out here trying to cancel you. All right? And what he did was he blocked me now. So you actually, you know what I mean? I got to show you in 2D what happened. So give me a second here. Let me pull this up so everyone knows exactly what's been going on with Reason during this stream, because people think they're gonna pull fast ones on me. Never ever gonna happen, bro. I hate to be the one to tell you this. So this clown, okay, he goes out there and basically he tries to pull up tweets from about like, I want to say like 10, 11 years ago. And because that's when I started in the hip hop game in 2019, and I went all the way until 2018. And let's show you guys this exactly what I'm talking about here. And he deleted the tweet too. All right, peeps this. So he tried to put on blast me. All right. He tried to put on blast on me. Look how cool and love this guy is. So me retweeting Lupe Fiasco. Okay, that's RT stands for retweet. That's not me tweeting that. Timbaland asking what my favorite Timbo track was, and I gave him the title of the song. Okay, you know what I mean. Let's hear. Okay, me seeing Kanye West and Jay-Z perform live. They did N-word in Paris twice. Look at the date, 2011, twice. And then they did it one more time as an encore. Me dropping Dream lyrics. This guy, Jigs the Flyer, some of you people who have been backstage with me have seen. This was an artist I managed. Those are exact lyrics from him. Okay? Again, lyrics, right? So I'm using lyrics, all right? Like, I'm not out here actually dropping N-bombs. You know what I mean? Look at what this guy puts out.
I mean, wow.
Look at this.
Honestly, like, if I got to be real with you, the thing that I took away from his like quote tweeting of you is that you had an exchange with Timbaland. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but like, look at this. Look at this. Fat ass N-word. I was telling a coworker how Drake is an emotional ass N-word. What hair product are these N-words from Iran using?
Wow.
I mean, dude's a clown, obviously.
What a hypocrite.
All right, so that's what I've been dealing with, people. Someone out here trying to cancel me when he's the one that's actually dropping N-bombs and using it in a derogatory manner.
Term, yeah.
He's part of 5 Reasons Sports, right? Is that right? Yeah. Like,
you know what's better? You know what's better, Dylan, bro? Earlier today, I blocked him because I was like, I basically told him in the DMs, I'm like, yo, we're going at it. Like, I'm gonna bury you. So I just blocked him, right? Bro,
makes sense.
He put out a picture of me blocking him with like a bunch of like laughing at me, basically, okay? Like trying to like clown me, saying like, "Oh, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this guy blocked me or whatever, right?"
Just trying to save face, man. Just trying to.
No, check this out. Check this out, bro. I dropped that tweet. All right, I dropped that tweet that I just showed y'all. Look what this clown did. Look what this clown did, bro. Look, he blocked me, bro. because I unblocked him when he tried to cancel me. And look at what he did. He turned around. He blocked me.
Yeah.
All right,
What a
bro.
bitch.
Bro. And
We're
his
not
comments are getting
surprised.
blown up right now. Is this you? Is this you? So it's backfiring on him, trying to cancel me, bro.
Yeah, he
One
probably
is that
he
one is
probably-
that Hispanic dude, right? That
That's who it is. It's a Hispanic.
yeah. Now I know what you mean.
Juan.
Yeah. Now I remember. Yeah.
I was going to say, he probably blocked you, Reason, because you got more followers than him, and you could expose him for being fucking racist. man.
We actually have about the same amount of followers. Yo, let me put it in simple terms here, okay? My wife is fucking Pakistani, bro. If I was a racist, why would I have married a Pakistani woman? And guess what it is? She's a Pakistani Muslim.
We all know you're not racist, Reason.
But I
We
mean,
know
like,
you.
this is
I mean,
the
Yeah, but
length
the allegations
people
are
will
pretty
go
damaging.
to
It's
try and slaughter you.
diminish your name.
Yeah, the more you get popular,
I
man.
mean, that's I was gonna say one judge of your success is always the amount of haters.
The haters, yes.
I'm
yes.
gonna laugh when all of his followers follow you and unfollow him. Because that's
Bro,
what's gonna
I've never ever shown my wife or anything on here, okay, ever once. Okay? First of all, that's me right there. These are a bunch of my artists, okay? If I was racist, why would I be in that game? All right? Secondly, let's keep it going either deep. All right?
Your child.
Hold on a sec. Yeah, exactly. Well, I know I'd hate my child, right? Bro, here's me and my wife, all right? Brown wedding party. One of my best friends, Sanjay. One of my best artists that I had at the time and one of my closest friends, Shane Carter. Why if I was racist, why would I marry a brown person, let alone allow people of color in my wedding party? This woman right here, the wife of my best man right here, and she's Iraqi. Do you understand where I'm going with all this? Like,
I don't
Unbelievable, Reason.
give me a fucking break right now.
Yeah, the thing is, though, Reason, everybody, you don't have to justify not being a racist by putting pictures up of who you
I'm
met.
not justifying, but I'm showing people that,
No,
if this was really the deal, why would I be knee deep in this stuff right now, bro?
No, your word's good enough, man. Your word is good enough. You don't have to
Fucking
put up
unbelievable,
things.
man.
Well, I mean, it's verifiable, right? Like, I mean, right? Because the trick that people do, especially on social media, is they just put things in different context and framing, right? So,
Right.
Yeah.
and they do it
Yes.
intentionally.
anyway.
Yeah, they do it intentionally to paint a certain narrative, right? And so it's you go back and you look at that stuff and it's all verifiable. The things you were saying were quotes of lyrics. Like, how can you get mad at somebody for that, right? Like, and he was out there just, flagrantly being
Using
a
his
moron,
own words.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Just
Mhm.
being an idiot, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
it's clear as day, and that's why I would say you don't need to defend yourself, because the way that you carry yourself on a regular basis says
We already
everything
know.
about you.
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Unreal,
let it
though,
get-
man.
I feel you though.
Do
I feel
not
you
let
though.
it get to you, because if you do, then he wins. Don't let it get to you.
I mean, I feel you
just
though.
off
on
your
wanting to swing back.
podcast. Ball game in Richmond Webb. You do. I mean, come on. EM, isn't that
Exactly.
your best friend? I mean, come on. We can keep going with this shit. We know. This moron is grasping at straws because he's
You're
hating.
good with TD. You're good with everybody. Reason, unless they're completely stupid and don't know what they're talking about and deserved some backlash from you.
Yeah.
Honestly, you're just a
So-
straightforward person that we all know who you are.
The easiest thing is to accuse somebody of being a racist. The hardest
Yeah.
thing is to prove it.
Yeah, that's a smear.
You
bro.
already know I'm gonna have your back, brother. You know that for a fact.
Yeah, but it's just like, bro, like, what are you trying to start right now? Like, see, I know people were trying to give me shit about like knocking people's like girlfriends or whatever. This is a different level when you go here.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean he's a
It's
clown.
so out of context, though, man. Because you put out such great content. Why are people coming at you with this angle? You know what I mean? Why are they doing this?
That's how people are. That's how people are trained to be by society and stuff, right? Like it's the world is intentionally cutthroat, so it's like people learn that their whole lives, and there's always going to be people out there that are going to be coming for you, especially when you have more success than they do, right? Like, I
The
mean,
biggest
Yeah, people are
That's really what it
crazy,
is.
man.
Jealous.
the
When people
biggest
get
thing I
jealous
hate
and they have competition, they do whatever it takes to try to beat that.
truth's
And
always
is what
truth's always going to come out, though.
Yeah.
when the biggest pussies get on social media and try to act so hard, they get a brave when they're on that keyboard.
yeah,
Bro,
until you
and it,
Yeah,
bro,
and
even
then it's
to
like,
even when
quote
it
it,
comes to like this, even when it comes to like discussing something as simple as football, and you guys are talking about stats or other football players, then you embarrass them, right? It's like you say, "Oh, Tua sucks," and then you show them some stats saying, "No, Tua had a typical rookie season or whatever," right? Then you embarrass them on the internet, on Twitter or whatever, and these people get vindictive and they get personal, and then they start digging for anything in your past to try to put you out there as somebody that you're not. You know, they're trying to project you as somebody that you're not. So
to quote some,
it's trash. These people are
insecure
trash, bro.
about himself. That's
Yeah,
his
trash.
problem. He's just
Yeah, well,
insecure. He's being.
I wouldn't worry about that, dude. To quote some Drake
I
lyrics,
would.
man, trigger fingers turn into Twitter fingers,
Fingers,
man.
yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of
That's
here.
straight up.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here.
Yeah. So
He's
social media
when
is.
I mean, I grew up in some hoods in my life. Like, I get it, bro. Like,
number one.
people come from all places, man. Like,
Number one, cancel culture needs to just die. That needs to end. It's so ridiculous.
And that's a big problem right nowadays, right, Russell?
Yeah, it is. It's terrible. And number two, when people see this and they all realize where the truth is, and he starts losing followers for being a piece of shit, that's going to be karma taking care of all this. That's why I'm telling you, don't let it get to you. It ain't worth it. Just let karma come back and bite him in the ass, because it's exactly what's going to happen.
you said your piece, and I think you said it well, and I think that's all that needs to be said. But that's me.
Yeah, let's get
We
back
get
to
it.
some Dolphins talk. So, I don't really care for the Fletcher Cox move either. I see if I'm getting rid of X, I'm dealing with the Saints, and it's going to be for one of three players. It's going to
I'll
be
take a
Caesar
center.
Ruiz, it'll be Eric McCoy, or it'll be Cameron Jordan and a second round pick. That's where I stand with it. If I can't make that happen, he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Or
No,
Alvin
I
Kamara,
agree.
long shot.
Alec Kamara is really
I
nice.
feel like they
agree.
wanted a defensive player though. I feel like Flo is wanting a defensive player, man. It
And
would
that's
make
why
more sense. It would make more sense to go to the O line because our offense is
Definitely
going to
would.
have to make up for it. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get a defensive player to make up for X's production. It's not going to happen. So the best way to do it is to counter it in your offense.
I mean, he's already, pretty stacked on defense too, though. Like, I mean, he is, constantly bringing in guys, and I get that. That's his specialty, right? But like, at some point, in my opinion, you got to be like, okay, well, maybe we do have enough bodies. There are like, for me, so with the Shaquem Griffin, right? Like, I agree with a lot of the things that you said about him and stuff as a player and whatnot. But for me, it's like there are a few positions on this roster that I would have addressed first, right? Areas that I think could use more competition as opposed to linebacker. There's some spots, obviously, that I would take less, but running back, center, safety, defensive end, right? Those are the positions where I would want more competition. Nick Coe, he probably wouldn't make the roster anyway. Again, the only thing with that is I want more competition at that position because that's where we need, I think, some of the most help, right, in those areas. So I would have taken them. And with Cre'Von Leblanc, I mean, I don't see how you could disassociate that from the whole X situation completely. Like, I think they are going to have to be, somewhat tied together. just by the circumstance.
Griffin is going to be a solid special teams player, and if you look at Flores' background, you look coming from New England, who have always had really good special teams players. I think recently they re-signed one of their top special teams players. I can't remember his name, but he's been with them like 10, 11 seasons now.
Oh yeah, I can't remember.
Re-signed the guy. He wears glasses. He's been there. He's been there. About
I know what you're talking
about. Now. And I think signing Griffin is like Flores's thinking on. I want to strengthen the special teams because it's an important facet of the game, and I think this guy will contribute and can even contribute on certain defensive situations as well. Yeah.
I honestly would like that. I mean, because see, the thing is, I think we do also. I mean, he has been stacking special teams players too, so we do have a fair amount of good special teams players. So, at some point, somebody's not going to make the roster. I would say I would definitely take Shaquem Griffin over a Matt Collins just because, I mean, having both would be great, but just because I think we're deeper in general at wide receiver than linebacker, right? So from that perspective, I would certainly take him over that.
They need to get Eric McCoy, man, from the Saints.
He can catch too, believe it or not. Even only having one hand, he can catch. He's had a few interceptions, I believe, hasn't he? Reason?
Who?
Griffin?
Shaq? I think he has one.
Yeah, I think he's got one. I mean, his stat line's not super great, but he is and if he's used,
he doesn't get a ton of snaps, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. If he is used properly, then he could certainly be impactful. Somewhat in a Jerome Baker type, role or whatever. But
I would say on that is you could name 100 players with two hands that aren't as good as Shaquem Griffin. This guy's got talent on special teams. One hand or not, this guy's got talent. And he'll produce. He'll be a good player on special teams for the Dolphins.
Yeah. No, I think that.
But with the Cox thing, I think Cox would do better on this D line than he would in Philadelphia. With having Raekwon Davis, Ogba, Wilkins, I think this D line would be one of the best D lines we've had in a while. Inserting Cox, but with that being said, I don't want the deal. But I think Cox and Davis would be nasty, bro. Straight nasty.
I agree with that perspective.
What would you do with Wilkins though?
Yeah, what would you do with Wilkins? Because then
has he really produced, guys? We've been waiting for Wilkins to show up. We've been waiting for this guy to show up, and he hasn't showed up.
And I agree. I mean, he hasn't been terrible either, but I agree with that. But if you were to, let's say, get rid of him or trade him, that doesn't say good things about your first round pick from that year and your drafting ability. So there is that. But look, on paper and certainly potential wise, it could be. And that's why I said personally, I think if I was to weigh the two Eagles trades, I would take Fletcher Cox over Derek Barnett. But I don't think that's an overly likely scenario. I think the Saints thing, I agree with that, is probably where I would lay my chips, and I personally would take one of the centers. But I
would too. But the best way to counteract losing a piece in your secondary is by adding a stellar pass rusher, and that's why I like the Cameron Jordan move, because that's the best way to losing that, because then if you're going to be able to create pressure without having to send a zero blitz like they did this past season, which I think that's his goal to begin with. Flores' goal is to be able to send that type of pass rush and be productive with it without having to send all those pieces.
Well, they have to be. It's not sustainable to just have to scheme up blitzes like that all the time.
They're going to learn to scheme against us with that if we continue to do that on a regular basis.
Yeah, you need to be able to get pressure from your front 4, 3, whatever.
I don't say don't ever do it, because I love that look, and I love
gotta have it.
You gotta have it, but I think they need to implement it a lot less this season, and they need to be able to send
we gave
those
we
4
gave
or
up so many
5
yards
guys
last season.
instead of 9 of us. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that I think Cameron Jordan makes the most sense in terms of replacing missing X on this team in terms of that defense. That I think that's the only way they can kind of make up for that kind of loss, and that's why I still say that they should get an additional pick with him. And I believe Cameron Jordan is 32, but his production hasn't changed. I remember when Reason was
Not that
given the
bad.
different scenarios, his pressures were through the roof. His sacks were really solid every year. He really didn't have any down time whatsoever in terms of his production. So until that goes away, I see him being a productive player, creating havoc, and having him and Ogball and Jalen Phillips and Baker. I mean, there's 4 guys right there that you could send all at once, and somebody's getting through. It doesn't matter. Somebody will get through that. It's going to be really tough to defend.
I appreciate what you're saying there, Russell. But I think if you're going to do a trade with the Saints, sorry, man. I think if you're going to do a trade with the Saints, I would rather go with McCoy or one of the other offensive linemen there.
Yeah, 100% agreed.
I think the Cameron Jordan at 32, I think we can get by with Ogba and Jalen Phillips, and even Zach Zeal has been productive at times. I would rather invest in the offensive line and strengthen that to help Tua.
Same.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, because there's just, again, so much mystery there, right? It's like a fucking magic show, and we're waiting to see if it's good or not. Like,
right, because you have anything with the offensive
either
line.
way they go, it'll be a win, because if they do go with one of the centers, then the offense will most likely have a better running game, which means they'll be on the field more, keeping the defense fresh. Therefore, it's going to help with the pass rush anyway. Either way they go, it's a win. That's what I'm saying. It's just I want it to be one of those 3 players, in my personal opinion.
No, it's a win if they keep X.
Well, of course,
that's the win.
Of course,
yeah.
But
right?
I'm just saying, if you can get a player like Eric McCoy, Cesar Ruiz, or Cameron Jordan, and still come away with a draft pick, and it saves face with X, and he gets what he wants, whatever. And then we also get out of the contract dispute with him. You got to take the positives with the situation, unfortunately. I don't want him going nowhere. I want to keep him too. Personally, in my opinion, he's the best corner in the NFL, hands down. As long as he's healthy, he's legit. Yeah. And I don't want him going anywhere. But those are the 3 players that I stand on. I don't want to deal him in the AFC. He needs to go to the NFC, where if we do see him, it will be in a Super Bowl. I never want to see him.
Well, that'd be a terrible place to see him, but I feel you. I feel you on that. But like, that would be a terrible place to see X in the Super Bowl. Imagine he crushes our dreams by intercepting us or something. Like that would be terrible.
Man. Don't we also play them in the regular season as well?
Yeah, well, I mean, every so often, right?
NFC,
Every few
NFC
years,
division,
it rotates through the divisions, right? So, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I agree that any of those Saints trades would be, perfectly fine. I personally would take, but I also think that that's probably the most realistic out of the different options. If they were, if they are going to do something and flip X, and would make the most sense. Yeah.
So
hey, fellas,
the Saints
can I jump in there?
Michael Thomas.
Yeah, go ahead. Jump in. All right, who's taking a piss?
Yes,
I just wanted to say, like,
taking a piss?
I was wondering the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, mute yourself.
Mute yourself before you whip it out, bro. Come on.
Somebody took the phone straight.
You know what, Reason? Question for you: if you absolutely had to pick one of the 3 players I mentioned from the Saints in that trade scenario, which one would you choose?
Name them again.
Eric McCoy, Cesar Ruiz, or Cameron Jordan.
McCoy.
I believe those are the 3 players in particular you talked about in the trade scenario with the Saints.
I would take McCoy, Ruiz, and then basically in the order you name them. McCoy first, because he's proven he is a Pro Bowler. Ruiz, last year didn't give up one single sack. I think he only allowed like 21 pressures. So Ruiz number 2, and then Cameron Jordan.
Yeah,
But Cameron Jordan would make sense for them because if you believe what Klump said about Derek Barnett, clearly we're looking for a pass rusher still, which I don't know why, because we're kind of set. But maybe they don't plan on extending Ogba, and they think that Cameron Jordan's $9 million cap hit over the next couple of years is better than what they're going to have to pay Ogba. I don't know. And then, but because McCoy and Ruiz are still on the rookie deals. Obviously,
That's
Ruiz
nice.
and McCoy's only played. They drafted McCoy the year before Ruiz, right? But they only have, like I said, $11.379 million, and X right now as he stands is like what the cap hit is like $12.75 million.
For X, it's 13 and a
They
half.
would have,
Or
they would
13 and a half. So they'd have to move some money,
yeah.
right? So they'd have to move some money. But I mean, this is a team that I know you were around, Russell. I kept going on FinFans panel and saying, guys, get the Ryan Ramchuk hopes out of your mind. They ain't moving them. And everyone's like, oh, they're $40 million under the cap. I mean, over the cap. I'm like, bro, they'll make it work. And they went from $40 million over the cap to like plus $11 million. And
That's
they just gave Ryan Ramchuk the extension. Now, this is where it really kicks off. If they want to move some money, and you'd have to ask yourself, seriously, what you want to do with Austin Jackson. What if they're willing to move Armstead, and then they can throw Ramchuk to left tackle because he played left tackle in college. He wasn't a right tackle in college.
Yeah.
Do it.
Armstead's like 28 or 29, and I think he has a decent hit right now, too.
I think he's 30 reason, but he's still a great
Are you able to check what his current cap is?
I'll tell you right now what his cap it is.
I think
he signed a
that you know what that would do for our tackles, because you know what, like you said,
he signed a 5-year, $65 million contract. Let me just look up what his cap hit is.
That's really.
I mean,
this is the thing. If Lattimore, see what's crazy is if they were to trade X. Sorry, Dylan, I'll let you go. They would have to tear up X's contract, give him new money. Then next year they got to sign Marshawn Lattimore if he clears, right? So his cap hit right now, Armstead, they paid him a lot of his money. His cap hit right now is $8.35 million, and then it's $8.299 million. And
I would take that.
And then he goes up to $13 million next year, $5 million in 2023, and then $2.6 million in 2024, and it's the dead cap. If they were to trade him, they would still eat a $7 million dead cap if they trade him.
I mean, that's not like 20. What was it? 23.8 for whoever the dead cap you were talking about earlier.
30. Yeah, he's 30.
I couldn't remember, but yeah.
But he's one of the premier left tackles in the NFL.
And let Jackson sit behind him.
Yeah.
Let Jackson sit behind him.
Or move Jackson to guard.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say you would have to figure, because he's still a first round pick, right? Like you got to figure out something. You can't just not do anything with him.
Do you know Austin Jackson played right tackle in high school?
I mean, I would take that over Eichenberg,
and then you put Eichenberg to left guard.
Yeah, nothing against Eichenberg. Like. It's just rookie mistakes kind of thing, and it's Tua's blind side.
Yeah,
so
can't fuck around.
It emphasizes that, right? Because if Tua gets lit up even just one time wrong from that blind side, man, things could go wrong.
I'm not gonna lie. I like Reason said, and Pete, I like Fluker over there, man. If this man he's got his body in shape, bro. He looks like freaking Aaron Donald right now, bro.
I mean, it's possible. That's always been a possibility, right? Fluker at right tackle. So,
guys, didn't Larry Matunsil play a bit of left guard when he was a rookie?
When we drafted him,
Brandon Albert,
yeah.
So,
and that was smart. That was a good way to do it, right? Because it helped to groom him and still got him some experience without having to thrust him into the the heat of what it takes to be a left tackle, and at that time the blind side of your quarterback. So I thought it was how you're supposed to do it, really.
So you could do the same
Honestly,
with Austin Jackson, like Reason
Yeah.
says. You could move him inside to guard and help him develop a little bit, take a little bit of the pressure off,
and give him a veteran to learn from.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, if we took
Good
Eric
fucking kid.
Armstead or Eric McCoy, either way we go, that
Upgrade
would
them.
put so much depth at the line. It's ridiculous. I would actually be extremely comfortable with our O line after that.
See, one of the things with getting older in the NFL is like one of the better positions to still be productive as you're getting older and still be a good player is offensive lineman, because you like Trent Williams is like 33 maybe, and he's still like a top left tackle. Whereas like when you get a running back or a defensive back, cornerback, once they get past 30, they generally degrade really quite quickly, and the value
Lose a
drops.
step.
Yeah,
Hell,
like,
Richie Incognito's like 38 and still playing guard.
yeah.
Yeah, as long as your legs are
And at a high
Jason-
level. Incognito's
Yeah.
still at a high level.
Is he really 38?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Absolutely.
getting
now.
up there now.
Thanks, Jonathan Martin.
Yeah.
Jason
Yeah,
Peters
man,
is
that
like
was awful.
75. No, I'm not joking, but Jason Peters can, he went to like 39 and was still a productive player. But the thing is when you're talking about the cornerbacks, with like Xavien Howard 28. As soon as he hits 29, his value drops dramatically. So it's like, do you keep this guy or do you trade this guy? Because we've seen it with Stephon Gilmore. The New England Patriots desperately wanted to get rid of Stephon Gilmore, but they wanted a first-round pick, and nobody was biting. There was no, they cast the rod in the water. There was no fish biting because the guy was 29 years old, and they know that he's on a big contract, and at 29 years old, he's only going to go downhill. As much as he keeps himself fit, and cornerbacks getting older, the value decreases. But when we look at offensive linemen, it doesn't matter how 30, 31, 32, 33, you can still get a really, really good player.
But honestly,
One
though,
thing-
fellas, I think on the offensive line, I think that they're not really gonna look to make any more big moves. I think they're happy with what they have, because honestly, my take on it is I think that they're good, that they're gonna try to negate the offensive line as much as possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you see the way they set it up, they got athletic tackles, and I think that they're really gonna try to have it set up where everything comes out quick. And I honestly believe that the way that they're going to run their offense is going to be a pass first offense to set up the run. So I think that that's what they're going to look to do. They're going to look to come out early, get it going with a very, very fast rhythmic offense, and then set up the run after that, after they get the defense, out of their rhythm.
on their
Then
heels,
boom, they're going to start the run with that. So I think they're going to try to negate that offensive line and put a Band-Aid over it through play calling. But on the other hand, I think that on the D line, that's what you want to strengthen as much as possible if you're going to get rid of X, because that's going to allow you to, to get that pass rush, and it's going to bring down the time that the quarterback has, that you're leaving these cornerbacks out on an island. So if they can get that pass rush going, that's going to allow Noah Igbenogany to be, more aggressive. It's going to allow him to get a feel. He's not going to have to be out there, covering for three, 4, 5 seconds.
You just shade the coverage behind Noah like you were doing with Byron this year.
Yeah. We're
and hold on, I gotta say, Fins for life. What do I think about who?
Personally,
Hold on a sec, Tony.
Oh.
I'll let you keep going. I'm just gonna read these donations because I
no
missed
doubt.
them. Fins for life donated $2. He said, "What do you think about him, Reason? Let me know in the comments. I don't know who you're talking about, Fins for life." And then G Firm says, "Shout outs to Jeff and Blanco. Zoe's in the house. Zoe's in the house. Appreciate you, G Firm." Anyways, continue. Hold on. Just let you can go, British. Just let Tony finish his point because I cut him off and I didn't mean to. Go ahead, Tony. Sorry.
Yeah. So I think personally, I have a lot of faith in Austin Jackson. I agree with everything you said, and you make sound points with him in college, and I definitely think he has problems like not being aggressive enough. But I think that he has the personality and really the work ethic. Like you see him, he's just like very level headed, and I think it really matters to him a lot. And I honestly think he's very coachable, and I think he'll get there. He has all the tools. He may come along a little slower, but I do think he's going to get there. Same thing with Noah Igbenogany. He just needs to work on his ball skills. But if you look at his body type and the way that he played in college, it's very similar to X. I mean, they're really like kind of, when you put them side by side, they are super similar. But now, obviously, X has those ball skills that I didn't see from Noah in college, because I watched every snap of him in college. And one thing he had a problem with was locating that ball. He'd get too touchy at times. And he didn't really have a knack for getting his head around locating the ball. But if he could get those things coached up, especially since, you know what I'm saying, he was a wide receiver at one point, man, that kid is going to be nasty, bro, because I'll tell you what, he's fast. He can catch up. He got quick catch up. I mean, really good that speed where he could let the receiver go and then boom, he could catch up to him really quick. So, if those things pan out, I mean, could be good.
Yeah, you got to remember, though, the reason why he was converted was because he had stone hands and he doesn't have very good ball instincts.
Yeah. And you know,
that's going to be a problem.
Slow. You can't really afford slow development either.
Yeah. Yo, shout out to Fins for Life. He's out. Bro, I'm trying to find out. I've been searching the chat, trying to figure out who you're talking about. I think you were talking about Shaquem Griffin. I think that's who you're talking about. You said he's more than special teamers. He'll get pass rushing opportunities. Like I said, he'll get better opportunities in this scheme than what he had in Seattle. I truly do agree that he'll be able to shoot gaps, not just come off the edge. And I did get your email, Fins for Life. I'll hit you up. Don't worry about that, man. I've just been crazy busy this week and stuff. So, what up, Chris? How you doing? British Fins fan, go ahead, bro. I know you had something you wanted to add.
Yeah, guys, I was just going to ask. We've seen Melvin Ingram join the Steelers, and we also, it looks like Malik Hooker may be joining another team as well. I just wondered what you guys thought. Did we miss out on those two players? Would you have liked to see the Finns sign one or both of those players? What's your thoughts on that?
Melvin Ingram is whatever. He's a good pass rusher, but he might be over the hill. And Malik Hooker looks like he's signing with the Cowboys because I guess he's in Dallas today, meeting with them for a second time. Malik Hooker would have been good because if you look at our depth at that free safety position, the only one I can label that is Trill Williams, and I think he can play the boundary or free safety. We don't have a ton of depth there. I hope they cut Clayton Fledgling. He's useless. And
so do I.
I think Malik Hooker would have been good for the depth. Yeah, I know that, and the Chiefs game.
The Chiefs, yeah.
Well, it wouldn't put you in a situation where you necessarily had to rely on a rookie either, right? Like you could even maybe bring.
They're both rookies. You're right. Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, but
you're not wrong.
I definitely would have, gone with Malik.
I just got to say this
when
to
it comes
Trello.
to defense, though.
Holland, I know Holland was a wide receiver. The thing is, his ball skills show that he was a receiver. Noah Benardrick's ball skills don't show he was a receiver. Anyways, go ahead, Tony. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, no problem. I was just gonna say, when it comes to the defense, though, you know what I'm saying, I trust Flo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really do. That's one place where he has my, I don't even question it. If somebody comes in and he says, nah, I'm not going to question that till he gives me a reason. Yeah. But as of now, he's got that defense going the right direction.
Really, it's only the offense where we question his
But that's what makes this X thing so curious is, like I put in the comments and Reason has said before, what scares me is, yes, I think that we need to pay X. Yeah, he needs to prove this season that he can be consistent. But at the same time, we're also in that situation where if they were confident enough in Noah, this would have already been a dead storyline. It would have happened whether we were trading.
Let me ask you this, Chris. if they were confident enough in Noah, don't you think they would have already traded X?
That's what I
what
was
he's saying.
saying.
That's what he's
That's
saying.
what I was
That's what
saying.
he means.
That's exactly what he's saying. Yeah.
I
If they-
feel
if they-
like
yeah.
if they were confident enough in what Noah was doing, there's no way that we're still playing this limbo BS. That's
Yeah.
and but what scares me at the same time is, I said earlier, in the comments, I'm not huge in tune with Shaquem Griffin. And I think that, again, with his deformity, with him having a degenerative disease, as a child and whatever, to persevere and be an NFL player, which most people who have two hands can't do. I also know that he, like you guys had said, he's not a run player, because I saw quite a few clips that he gets moved off the ball in running situations. But if we can scheme him in there to be a Jerome Baker type, off the ball, lane blitzer, great. But I think that, again, with the whole X thing, he needs to prove he can stay healthy, be consistent. We already paid you, but at the same time, you want to keep him happy. If there's something we can do, let's do it. You're signing all these people here and there and doing all this, and I get it. Flo and them are playing their let's round out the roster type situation. But at the same time, if X is gone, you're either going to depend on Noah, whether or not he's ready, and then you're going to hope that a pass rush is going to cover up your deficiencies in the secondary, and that's where you're in a whole nother, ball game.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of what you guys were saying, though, you could also look at it. You could also look at it from the other side and say if they had no confidence in Noah, that they would already been giving him his money. So you know what I'm saying, they are playing hardball with him. So it shows that they do have some kind of confidence in that secondary without.
I mean, it would be.
So it's going to be interesting to see because. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's a little hard to justify saying, though, that and this could be any team. It doesn't matter who it is. If they had X or a player like X, it is kind of hard to justify saying that you're better without him, right? Like, so, yeah. I mean, there's always those, both sides of it. But I mean, at the end of the day, the way I see it, this situation is it's a ticking time bomb, and somebody's got to figure out a way to defuse this motherfucker, right? Like, because
I agree.
Especially before training camp.
Yeah, because
nobody.
What if
anybody gets better off without X?
No. I didn't say you were saying that. I'm just saying that, like, if
about the Dolphins themselves, the coaching staff, I don't think anybody was thinking that like they're better off without X. I mean, X just brought the situation to the table. I mean, he
in negotiations with him though. I can't imagine they would be like, yeah, we're better off without you, and we're going to put Noah in.
Yeah,
right?
I have a
like
question.
I can't imagine the Dolphins are saying that in negotiations with X. Oh, we'll be good without you, bro. Noah's going to step up, even if they believe that, right? Like they're not going to say that in the negotiations because
that's where
it's not going to be true. And you can't sell that.
And that's where I get annoyed with a lot of fans is a lot of fans want to go out, the casuals want to be like, oh, yeah, we'll be okay. Well, you don't understand what he really contributes to his defense.
He was the third.
And that's where, again, you have to balance it both ways.
All right, what if – all right, so Michael Thomas went down today, right? So what if we just got rid of Parker to the Saints?
That's what me and EM talked about. Wouldn't that be hilarious if they ended up on the same team after that beef they had?
Yeah, that would. But
that'd be wild.
And
fireworks.
What if
that's the business
trade him as well? Like, what if we trade him Jakeem Grant?
That's who I suggested. Because think about it, Jakeem Grant for that offense. For manufacturing space for receivers, getting them to find the soft spots in zone and everything they do. Jakeem Grant would actually be perfect for that offense.
Exactly.
Think about it.
And his returnability on top of
it. I don't know if they have a big time returner there.
Hey, everybody.
Either way, he's one of the best in the league, so it's probably an upgrade unless they also have
Kelvin asked me reason you think you're sorry, say again, Russell?
I'm going to go ahead and hop off here.
All right, buddy. Have a good night, bro. Hope everything's going well, dude.
Hanging in there day by day, brother. Thank you.
Hey, man.
Love you, guys. Love you, Russell, man.
Hope
Take care of
the sun shines brighter each and every day for you, bro.
Have a good night, man.
Much
I
love,
appreciate
Russ.
All right.
All right,
Much love to
take
y'all.
it easy, brother.
Fins
See you
up,
later.
fellas.
Kelvin says, reason you think your boy, everyone knows I love this kid, Sam Howell would be a better fit for this than Tua. Bro, you can't put that on me, bro.
Spotlight.
Nah,
Like-
don't mess with him.
I love me Sam Howell, man. Like, I'll tell you this much. If everything goes completely sideways this year with Tua and they're going to move off of him and we have no power over it or say over it, which we wouldn't anyways. I mean, I wouldn't shed a tear if they drafted Sam Howell. Let's put it that way. Because I'll tell you this much. If Sam Howell balls out this year after using Javonte Williams, Michael Carter, Diami Brown, Daz Newsome, if he balls out this year, which I think he will, you got to remember, he was trained in terms of his mechanics by Peyton Manning's old quarterback coach. So if you watch Sam Howell in the pocket, he even does, if you guys remember, you know, Peyton Manning used to hike the ball and he hiked the ball and he would sit there in the pocket and he'd do that little hop as he moved through his reads. Sam Howell does like the exact same thing. It's kind of crazy. And then shout out to Jeremy Klump for choosing violence and saying we trade Albert Wilson.
How dare you?
No,
Clump's always got to be here somehow.
He stays. He stays. I ain't
Son of a
trade.
bitch.
In terms of
Trade Allen Hearns, man. Get rid of that terrible contract.
Emery Jones, Klump. Come on, stop being a homer, bro.
Let's get rid of Jordan Scarlett.
Last name. Yo, I think Spencer Rattler is super talented, but from everything I've heard, he's, you know, if people out here on YouTube and Twitter think I'm egotistical, go have a conversation with Spencer Rattler, bro.
Can he get
Watch him on the Netflix, bro.
Yo, did you see him on the Netflix, bro?
Yeah, bro.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude. With his girlfriend, he was cold-blooded with his girlfriend after he win games and stuff, bro. I'm like, and yo, that's the one that's like opening her legs for you, bro. What are you gonna do to people that don't do that to you, bro? Shit. Spencer Rattler, like I've heard, even at Oklahoma, apparently he's a dick. So
he seems like it.
That's one of those guys where you gotta win, because if you don't win, locker rooms will turn on you so quickly.
Well, you gotta be like
he's talented though. There is no idea.
His accuracy is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, with that kind,
he's
with
athletic,
with that level of ego, you got to be the best, because that's the only way to be able to sustainably have that kind of ego, right? You got to be able to be like, I'm the best. Look at my seasons.
I'll tell you right now, bro. I walked around my high school like my shit didn't stink. When I went to college and I was a backup, I didn't walk around like that. But when I was a starter in high school and we were winning regional championships, I played high school ball for 4 years. I won 3 championships out of 4 years. 2 of those as a starter, 1 of those as a backup. All right. I walked around like my shit didn't stink, bro. And you know what I mean? Like, I get it, because you have to be confident. Like, especially you have to have some kind of ego, because you have to be confident in the huddle. You have to be confident in practice. You have to be confident. That's a part of being a fucking leader. Like, there is a little bit of an ego there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's a problem. There's a difference between being, you know, having a bit of an ego and being like over the top egotistical. You know what I mean? Where players don't like you, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's the difference between being confident and arrogant, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. I'm like, hey, let's keep up the song lyrics. Jadakiss said once, I ain't cocky, I'm confident. So when you tell me I'm the best, it's a compliment. All right. So
I mean, if you have the proven track record, you know, but that's why I said to have that level of like to be an arrogant player and to you know, walk around like you're God on earth, right? Like you have to be the best at what you do.
Back it up.
Exactly. Yeah, but there's a general feeling, isn't there, Reason and the rest of you guys, that that this 2022 draft class, quarterback-wise, maybe isn't as strong on paper.
I think people are giving it way too hard. Yeah. Like, there's some good quarterbacks coming out in this draft class, man. Like, I think people are way too hard on this draft class, dude.
What's that one guy?
I think it could be better than last year's. Trevor Lawrence come out last year, but As a overall, I think the quarterback will be better next year.
So that quarterback from Liberty.
Yeah, Malik. Malik.
Is it Willis or?
Yeah, I think it is. He's a beast, bro.
He's electric, dude.
I haven't watched a ton on him yet. I will. Yeah, you're right, Malik Willis. He's a beast, bro. I know Ballgame loves Slovis out of USC. He's coming out.
And then there's
Carson Strong out of Nevada.
Who's the one from USC? What's this guy?
Slovis.
Okay.
Yeah.
About him too.
That kid out of Ole Miss is pretty good, Matt Corral.
I haven't seen much on Matt Corral yet.
That quarterback. I'm not a huge fan of Derek King at all. I know another one that Ballgame loves. We talk about all the time. JT Daniels out of Georgia. Remember, he lost the job in USC to Kellen Slovis, right? You got Desmond Ridder. I think a sleeper is, and I loved watching him when I was doing all the Hunter Long chop ups. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name wrong. Phil Jerkovich out of Boston College. Another player that everyone knows I've loved for a couple years. I actually loved him so like Tua, I would try and catch every Oregon game live, right? When I saw Jaden Daniels at Arizona State outplay Justin Herbert as a freshman, and Herbert was a senior,
that's special.
I was like, yo, Jaden needs to put on weight. There's no doubt about it. But he's in a pro style offense right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, doesn't Herm Edwards
run that team?
Yeah, exactly.
And Marvin Lewis is part of that staff as well. The former Bengals coach.
No, they're NFL ready, homie.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels is just, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Jaden Daniels, but like I'll show you what Jaden Daniels looks like. You'll like even see a picture of him. And I actually had someone, I was showing him some love on Twitter a couple months ago, and some guy who like, I guess knows him well from high school ball, like knows his father, knows everything. Like hit me up and was like, yo, he's such a good kid. Was just like showing mad love to the guy, right? And here, I'll show you what he looks like.
I'm looking at.
You'll see. He's a skinny little boy, bro. He puts on weight. Yo, this guy throwing the football though, man, and he's athletic. This is what Jaden Daniels is. Like he looks like he's a corner or a safety.
Yeah,
you know
I don't know why. I got a real
side by side with him and Brock Purdy. Like it's ridiculous.
He's pretty tall though.
The difference in their arm. Like I'm looking at Brock Purdy from Iowa State. That guy's huge, and then you look at this guy, and it's like,
yo, and you know what? Brock Purdy let me down. I was expecting him to take a huge leap, man, last year.
He might be good. He might be good this year, though. You never know. Might be a little bit together.
The same thing with Bo Nix. I wanted to see some improvement in the Auburn quarterback, Bo Nix, and
Bo Nix.
kind of
huge disappointment. A lot of Auburn football.
Yeah.
What about the change from Oklahoma Sooners and Texas Longhorns coming to SEC? What's going on?
Well, hey, you know what? That could raise Spencer Rattler's stock if he goes in and starts beating SEC teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he just walks in and beats everybody.
What do you think about Dylan Gabriel from UCF?
Yo, the left-handed guy, he's all right, man. He's not bad. Also about apparently Louisiana Lafayette and another team are looking to join the Big Ten now to take their spots.
Wait, you like the one that what was it? You said
Hunt came from Louisiana Lafayette.
Oh, okay.
They're leaving the Sun Belt and they're going to the Big Ten, and there's one other team. I forget what the other team is.
I got you.
Man, they gotta stop messing with that
Isn't there like a really good cornerback from LSU coming out this year as well? I forget what his name is.
No, I think he comes out next year.
He comes out next year? Okay. I thought I saw something on him I think a couple days ago or something.
Max Johnson? Is that who you're talking about?
I'm trying to remember this dude's name. I know he's a quarterback. I know he's a big name in the quarterback room right now. Like he's known as like the best cornerback right now coming out of LSU.
Yeah, Big 12. My bad. They're joining the Big 12. Damien says this is going to be Iowa State's. Hey, they got that tight end Kohler, who's a beast, and they got your boy Breece Hall, the running back. I want Breece Hall. If we're going running back, give me Breece Hall or Isaiah Spiller out of Texas A&M.
I still want Javonte Williams.
And if we trade X, and that San Fran pick is a top 5, give me Derek Stingley all day, every day, bro.
Stingley, dude.
Okay, Stingley is legit.
That's what I was thinking of. That's what I was thinking of. Derek Stingley.
LSU.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I was
Nick,
thinking of.
DJU, Clemson's quarterback right now, is ridiculous. And I found him. I don't know who mentioned it earlier, but that Netflix series. Remember, he's the was it Florida born? Was it you? He's the quarterback that took over that scrambling quarterback from St. John's Bosco.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He's the tall guy, bro, and he's Samoan. I do not know how to pronounce his name. I will wait until he's draft eligible to learn that name, bro.
until all the analysts and media.
It's harder than Igbenogany. Yeah, it's harder than Igbenogany, bro.
Apparently, Georgia are going to be really strong next year.
Dude, what's his face? Jamie Newman should have never left. Whoever told him to opt out and then come to the draft was an idiot. Because that kid is so talented. I think he could have beat out he could have beat out JT Daniels. Like, he's stupid talented. And now I think with the Eagles signed him and they cut him. So he's not even on a team right now. He got signed as UDFA. Wow. Doesn't even have a team. What's going on, Dougley? How you doing, bro?
Yeah, what's up, Doug?
Bro, this man, shout out to Dougley Durong for putting out 3 videos today. This man's putting in that work, bro.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Love Dougley.
I love Dougley. He's awesome, dude.
His reaction videos.
Dougley's how I found out we restructured Benardrick McKinney. Because he found it. Dougley was smart enough to go look on the transactions list and see it because they didn't announce it.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
There was nothing public from the team.
Which is weird, right? Isn't that kind of weird?
Yeah.
Nah, because they always do it a couple days after. Like, even, this week we had all those tweets and all that stuff. And then, like, 2 days later, they announced it officially.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be.
It's a big name, too.
Yeah, it could
That's
be.
Why, yeah.
It could be nothing. I would say, with the Benardrick McKinney thing, I would say at the end of the day, and I think they definitely took advantage of that to get Holland signed. And even with that, I'm pretty sure they'll still gain some cap space, right? Like,
well, that's it, Dylan. Like, they had to go hand in hand because all of a sudden you announced the Holland signing after you restructure him, bro, and you had how many months to sign him, and you didn't make that? You're right, 110% on that.
Yeah, and I mean, it could still, like I said, it could end up being just that, or it could even still mean something else. We have to wait and see. We don't know what they're doing, but I'm sure they will announce it at some point. I mean, I think that's likely.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's what's scary.
I would say, obviously, outside of Tua Tagovailoa, who do you think will be the most improved player for the Dolphins next season?
AVG.
That's a good pick. Are you talking about rookies?
Any player who's going to be the best.
AVG is a good pick. I think
AVG is a good pick.
Raekwon's going to take another leap, and I think everyone's going to be super impressed with Robert Hunt this year because now he's in a position where he belongs.
Yeah, I just hope that if Eichenberg does end up as the starting right tackle, he's the one I'm hoping for the most, just because it's that blind side, man. And I want the dude protected. I don't want him to get fucking nailed from the back, and so
that's kind of why I want Fluker there.
Yeah, I mean, well, if Fluker, then I would probably say, any one of those, or maybe Austin Jackson or something.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about Fluker because he's been an up and down player throughout his entire career, and it's you never know what you're going to get kind of situation.
It's true.
Yeah, but you do know a lot more about him on the NFL level than you do Eichenberg, who hasn't taken a single snap on that level yet.
Which is true.
Or see more training camp,
I
probably.
agree. I'm just saying that if you're going to let a rookie grow and you're going to go ahead and like Reason said, overreach for him,
the problem is
you got to
the
try to
investment.
put him in there and let him develop. at some point.
That's the problem, is the investment
Yeah.
they made.
Yeah, and I agree with that side of it. I'm just not a super big fan in general. One of my if I was a GM or whatever, philosophies is try and let, my rookies, if I can, let them sit a little bit and just because the thing I think people miss, the big thing about their first year is it's not just learning a playbook and all the football stuff. It's actually adjusting to the fact that it's a professional thing and that it's your job now, and the way that the business operates on the NFL level is nothing like it. I mean, well, it's way more amplified and crazy than it is on the college level. So you got to give them time to steep in that and learn how to operate within that kind of atmosphere. So I think it's generally helpful to let rookies, if you can, sit for their first year. I'm a fan of it.
And I
Going up
agree, but
against
when you're in the
grown men.
situation that we are, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
No, I was just saying, just in the situation that we are, having so much draft capital invested in this offensive line, we can't keep trying to pick up, I hate to say it, but cast-off veterans where you hope that they're going to be what they were a year or 2 years ago, versus saying, okay, yes, I do understand that there's a huge learning curve. I deal with it in my profession all the time, but at the same time, if you have the physical attributes and if you are going to learn, you're not going to continue to put yourself in a position where you're overpaying for a veteran presence when you can create a veteran presence by allowing, even if it is, like you said, would it be great if you have a better player to play in front of them and teach them? Yes. But if the person you're getting is decent at best, and your guy can be okay to maybe kind of sloppy, I'd rather play the okay to sloppy and say, let me see what I got out of a third-round pick. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, well, screw it. We're just going to see what happens in a year or two. And that's where I think they screwed up with Dieter in that situation is they try to put him, okay, well, he's not the best center. He's not the best guard. He's not the best tackle. So we're just going to go and throw him in wherever we see fit. And you can't keep changing a person's position like that. You got to let them learn it and develop their craft. You can't just keep throwing them all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
True.
The one thing, again, just real quick to say that I would push back on that is again, it's his blind side, man. Like, I think certain positions that might, the let him get his rookie mistakes in and let him learn from that. There are certain positions that I'd be more okay with that than your quarterback's blind side, right? Like, that's just me. But yeah.
And I agree, but I think that at the same time with a lot of, and not just Reasons, because Reason did a great job doing this breakdown and everything, pre-draft and post-draft of him. But at the same time, there's a big consensus of, yes, he's technically sound, he's very polished, but his ceiling is a lot lower. And so it's kind of one of those situations where he's going to give you good to maybe above average play, and I'm okay with that in that aspect of if Tua is back to health, he has his mobility, he has the weapons. So there's that two-pronged situation where, yes, absolutely the offensive line is important, but having someone who's technically sound versus someone who's just athletic and, we're going to teach him the technique, those are two different situations, in my opinion.
Sure.
So you guys would trust Austin Jackson on the right side, on the blind side?
Oh, no.
If they got,
No.
That's what I thought you guys were saying. Like you switch and move.
I'm saying that from everything
Jackson
that
would likely kick in.
Because I wouldn't do that.
Well, I'm saying with everything that's been said about Eichenberg is he's a tactician. No, he doesn't have a huge upside of potential. You know what you're going to get. You're going to get a good to slightly above average tackle from him. And in that aspect, yes, if we have the wherewithal to draft Penei Sewell, we wouldn't be in that situation, but we did. And so you have
Or
to be
Tevin
realistic in
Jenkins.
saying, okay, yeah, that too. But you have to be realistic in saying, okay, if he's going to be a decent to or average to above average tackle, I would take that and say, Austin Jackson, yes, he has a huge upside, but he also has to continue to learn. And that's where, again, not trying to switch people and not trying to mess with it. Let them develop together. Let them build chemistry together. There's communication, all these things. And I feel like, again, even if Eichenberg's not a star, if he's at least serviceable and we're still getting the production out of the receivers we're expecting, we're still getting the production out of, a decent running back, by committee, that's what we got to stick with. And then we got to depend on our defense to do their job.
Doesn't a average to above average tackle sound more like a backup though? And wouldn't that, I mean, if that's like, I'm not even projecting what his ceiling is. I'm just asking if that's what his projected ceiling is like for his career, then, wouldn't that be more of a backup? And do you really want just an average or above average tackle, being in that position? I'm not so sure I would personally.
And I agree. And that's why I was a huge proponent of drafting Sewell, because he's just an athletic freak. And he also has, can he improve on his technique? Absolutely. Considerably.
Yeah.
But he's also an athletic freak. But that's where I feel like, again, the Dolphins make the decision to say, hey, we want more of an impact player in Waddle. And then let's take our time with an above average to average tackle. Let him develop. Maybe he surprises us and he becomes great, or he just sticks at what we expect him to be and be average to above average. And that's where, again, it's that hard balance of what do you think is most important for this team.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, just real quick to add one more thing, because they're in the third year of this whole, project rebuild, whatever you want to call it. And they're definitely, I mean, especially too, if you look at Mr. Ross's recent comments, he expects the team to succeed this year, and succeed meaning, make 10 plus wins, make it to the playoffs. He doesn't want to see regression from his team from last year. Right. So he made that abundantly clear in his comments. It was during the opening of the grand opening of the training facility.
Yeah, right? He said he expects a Super Bowl soon, and that if you can't win with these facilities, you can't win.
Yeah,
so that's putting a lot of pressure on.
It was a joke, but not a joke.
That part was a joke. That part about the training facilities.
Joke,
I think.
But you also got to understand, he's a billionaire putting millions of dollars into this. He's not, maybe it's a sideways joke, but there's some truth in there too.
No,
I'm putting my money on the line. I want to see something out of it.
Yeah, well, and that's what I was gonna say and that's because he has, right? He's put and not just with the training facility and the stadium, but with all the draft picks and so on and so forth over the past few years. So he definitely wants to see that now. And so, like, I don't know especially because with him being a rookie, you might not even get average or above average out of him as a rookie. I hope you do, and he's a polished technician, and we hope that translates, immediately if he becomes the starter. But what if you don't, right? So there's the what if.
And I agree.
And that's not something you want in this year when there is so much expectation, right? Because then that could totally screw up everything for Tua and for this offense if he's just getting harassed all day because his offensive line is leaky up the middle. It's leaky on the right side because you got a rookie with rookie mistakes. Austin Jackson, if he doesn't take the significant leap forward, and these other guys, et cetera, right? Jesse Davis is supposedly ahead of McKinley on the depth chart.
And that's where I agree, and that's where I'm concerned about, like I said earlier, is, it's one thing to say, okay, we know the pressure's on, and that's why they wanted someone who's less of a project player and say, okay, he's polished. We kind of know what we're going to get. And that fits that narrative. But it also, like you said, to me, it's both coins of that. Is yeah, you have the concern about whether a rookie is going to perform up to your expectations, but you also have the concern of what if you put in Fluker, and yes, he has made a great body transformation. He's showing that he's putting the effort in and the work in, which is absolutely great. But at the same time, if you put him in and he's struggling, then where do you say, okay, I'm going to force this rookie into service because this veteran is struggling, but I haven't given this rookie any experience. And that's where you've got that double-edged sword.
But he's never gonna get experience until the season comes, right? Because he's a rookie, so he's never taken a snap. So if that time came, then so be it. But I think that's the more logical and safe approach, right? Take the guy who at least has, because he knows the speed of the NFL. Maybe he's not great, maybe he's losing a step, but at least he knows the speed of the NFL. And until he shows you to struggle, right? Like, because the thing about, rookies is you expect rookies to make mistakes. That is an expectation. So until they don't make those mistakes, you expect them to do so, right? So with a veteran who's been around for a while, you would expect them to at least know the speed of the NFL, know, defensive schemes better, be better with, overall communication than a rookie might be. And so to me, the smarter, the wiser choice is to start with that. And if you absolutely have to.
Go ahead. And I agree, but I'm just saying you also have that opposite coin.
I'm not going to sit here.
If you have the expectation that a veteran is going to know that game speed, then you would say, hey, you should be able to do it on second team reps or whatever. Let this guy get some reps against good opponents, against our first team defense, and let's see what he has versus saying, oh, we're just not going to give him that opportunity. And that's where I was saying, as well as the pregame, the preseason games, training camp, and then you make your decision. And I'm saying, hey, if DJ Fluker is going to give us the best chance of winning, I don't give a shit who he fucking drafted. Put him in. But I'm also saying if it's they're kind of even and we're not sure what we want to go with, just go with the younger dude. If you're ever in doubt, just put the fucking younger dude in.
I don't get experience.
It's gonna work out best.
I want to get some Sunday nights to practice and learn how to play.
One thing they did good. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say like I'm so happy with everything they did in the off season with the line. Obviously, I wanted Penei Sewell, you know what I'm saying, and also I would have liked to see them grab either the Raiders center or Green Bay center. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have liked to see one of those moves happen. But one thing I got to give them credit for is they did get a lot of quality depth, and they do have a lot of quality competition. And the other thing is like, it's fun to sit here and speculate. And as fans, you know what I'm saying, that's what we do. But I think you're not going to see Tua sitting back there. Tua is not going to be your conventional pocket passer. Now, obviously, he is a pocket passer, but it's going to be quick feet. It's going to be a lot of movement. Everything is going to be like a dance. And they're not just going to leave guys out there to just sit there and say, okay, just, stand there and block. No, everything's going to be very schemed with the way that they run that offensive line. And Tua's feet movements are going to be very schemed. I don't know if you guys saw the Nick Hicks video where he had Tua doing those drills. But yeah, it's going to be like that. Like, Tua is going to be, boom, quick decision, move left, move right, roll out. It's going to be a lot of that. And depending weekly on what matchups they have, they're going to know on different game plans. And another thing I give this coaching staff a lot of credit for is they are not one-dimensional in any way. They are very game plan specific to each week, changing it. Like, a lot of people even talk about our defense, like with the zero coverage blitz. That's like a big hot topic. But if you really look at it, they didn't zero blitz a lot. They just sent people from different places. So on paper, it went down as a zero blitz. But they were very they had guys doing different things, different weeks, depending on the matchups. They're very, very good at that. So I think, as worried and as concerned as we are as fans, and I think we have the right to be. You know what I'm saying? Because there is a lot of question marks. I think we have to give them, a chance to see how it plays out. And like you guys were saying, I agree with both of you. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the competition is going to be there, and whoever is the right guy for the job is going to get in there. But I think you're going to see the old line change. You know what I'm saying? And if they see certain matchups, you can see Jesse Davis go in there. You'll see Fluker go in there at different times. So I think that's really where our strength lies as a team. One thing, like I said, I give them the most credit for this offseason is they really built quality depth. I even like the kid which Reason doesn't think he's going to make the team, and I don't have any reason to disagree with him. But the Lamar, that Coleman kid, there's not much tape on him, but I watched him. He hasn't been playing the position long. He's freaking long. He's long. He's athletic. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, we'll see. I mean, the biggest.
They got a lot of good guys.
So here's the thing, and it goes back to the resources conversation, right? So they've put a ton of resources into the offensive line. That is, nobody can argue that, right? Like, they have a ton of guys, right? There's a long depth chart, right? As you're saying, the question is, and the thing that's concerning about it is we don't know yet who all the definite guys are going to be, right? Like, we don't know. I mean, we have a projected, whatever, but at some point, players have to rise up to the occasion and to the position, right? And then at some point you have to solidify those 5 guys, because someone else mentioned it earlier. The offensive line is a very chemistry-based group of players, right? So at some point you do have to get them all together and get them to play together so they can develop that chemistry, that cohesion, the communication, and all of those things.
You're not thinking right about that, bro. That's not the type of team B-Flow runs, man. This is the new NFL. Is not like that, bro. But I'm just telling you, like, it's.
I don't agree with that.
You can't be changing.
I feel like chemistry is like a big part.
You cannot be changing the offensive line all the time.
No, that won't by which
and especially when we're trying to run the scheme that we think that we should be right now. We need to be a run-first team, and we need to play the defense against the run, and we need to be able to do a few RPOs, throw in some intermediate routes, some spread concepts. And when we put all that together, you got to be able to isolate the defense, whether it's isolating them against the pass or isolating them against the run. We have to be able to do it. And if our O-line is playing piecemeal and we're throwing this guy and, he's playing decent, but we're going to try this guy, whatever, during the whole season, they're never going to be able to communicate and work together.
And that's
a big thing in the NFL. Is all of these guys are at very similar physical levels. The difference between good teams and great teams is their ability to play together. That's what makes a freaking team.
There's no unit that requires chemistry more than the O-line.
The O-line protects the quarterback. Taking out of context, though. Can I clarify my point, please? I'm just saying. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying that you don't need chemistry. What I'm saying is, it's possible to get more than 5 guys ready. It's very possible, and if you could get more than 5 guys ready, if you could get 7 or 8 guys ready in that type of chemistry, then that gives you an advantage over your opponent. And clearly, if you're watching Brian Flores and the way he coaches, that's what he's trying to do. That's why he puts such emphasis on so many players.
I don't think he's going to do that with the offensive line. Like, he's going to name his starters and.
Yeah,
he's going to name his starters, and that's going to be the line, man.
Yeah, he loves his versatility.
Someone gets injured,
Right.
But if you have 7 guys that are competing for 5, that's great. The competition elevates everybody's.
Right, but at the same time, it's going to be set.
If you're worried about 7 or 8 guys fighting for 5 positions, that tells you that you don't have the alphas that you're looking for. It's all right to have 5 alphas and 2 or 3, betas who are coming in and going to suffice. But you have to have the guys that you can depend on in the run game that are maulers, that aren't going to miss assignments, that aren't going to be, screwing up over simple basic stunts, people that get bowled over or just thrown aside. That's what we're looking for in the improvement of this offensive line. Is we don't want to see that stupid shit we saw last year.
Well, the stunts, having everybody go past
the stunts, but also people being overpowered. Like they were literally overpowered, like they
Having
were babies out here playing against men.
Yeah,
and it's like, come on.
I think you can get away, through the preseason with changing things up a little bit, giving some guys looks and reps.
Yeah, the preseason will help.
That. But you have to settle it before the season starts for sure.
Yeah, you have to have your 5 immediately by the Patriots game. We have to have our 5. We have to have our 5 ready and good to go.
And versatility is great because you can only dress like 7-8 guys on game day. So.
Yeah, my bad. I was just gonna say, I thought that the old adage was like, by the third week of preseason, they'd know who their starting lineups were. So now that we're kind of cut to only 3 preseason games, if you would call it that. So where do you say, okay, where's the line where we have to know?
Well, we also have practices too. We have a practice too. We have one against the Bears, right?
Well,
and we have another
I
one
understand that, but I'm just saying, does that change that timeline in practice of, hey, we have to see it by this time?
Well, personally for me, I would like to have my offensive line, the starting 5 that I expect to go out there this season. I would like to have them determined by the time even preseason games begin. The reason why is because, right, they don't actually play a lot in the preseason games, right? So what limited action they get, I want my starting 5 out there to see what I have in them in the preseason, right? You feel me? And then so that way, by the time the season comes, I know if my starting 5 is going to be good, and if I feel confident in them, or if I have to make some changes, which you really hope you don't, because if you have to make changes going into the season, you're probably not going to start off very fast. So
that's what preseason is for.
Yeah,
and that's what I was saying. Where I think these collaborative practices, where it's not just me against my own teammate. Having that, that change in culture, that change in, people, it lets them see more of, because again, from what Reason said before, they limited again the off-season training to a certain number of padded practices. So it's like, okay, now you're in the situation where you have even less padded practices than you had before. So those preseason games start to count even more, which is even crazy because now you only have 3 versus 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now it's even harder for those 3rd and 4th string guys to make an impact when they're not getting any reps.
Yeah, and I mean, and then to carry this even a little further, so not only do you have to figure out who your starting 5 is going to be before the season, but then and the other part of this conversation for the offensive line is they have to step up, and take that next step, right? Because they do have to be better, in run blocking, in pass protection, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So not only do you have to decide on who your starting 5 is, but then they have to cement themselves there, right? They have to prove that they are going to play at a level high enough that are worthy of retaining that spot, right? And making sure that your quarterback is upright and you got holes for your running backs, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the next layer of that.
Yeah.
For what the Dolphins gave up to get Eichenberg, we better beat out DJ Fluker.
Yeah,
or it's just gonna be
and
super disappointing.
That's what adds the added pressure to the Eichenberg situation is they decided to give up future draft capital to move up and get him. I was super in favor of taking Miners at 50.
Dude, yeah, me too, man. Or we could have got him in the. Wasn't he available?
Or
in like the third or fourth round? Like it was ridiculous.
Yeah,
how far he dropped him. We got Hunter Long.
Or English Dolphin.
So I guess third
even another center, right? If you're not a Miners fan, right? There are a bunch of centers they could have took, and they could have stayed at 50, right? They didn't have to move up and give away future draft capital, could have stayed at 50, and they could have gotten any number of centers that were still available, including Miners, who I was a fan
I
of.
wanted Miners, yeah. So
I was a fan of
And
I was
that's
so
where I got a
pissed
question
with
for
that Hunter
Reese.
Long pick. I thought we were going to pick him, and then the Hunter Long, I was like, what
Yeah,
the hell?
I mean, they could have got him there. That's the thing, right? Hunter Long was what third round.
Yeah,
They could
he
have
was
got him. They
available.
could have got him in the third round. Yeah,
They
because
didn't
I think he came at the very end of the third round, or
Well,
got
the
picked.
top-
He
What were
got
the top
picked, I
two
think, 5
centers,
picks later.
Dickerson
Something
But that was
and-
the question I have for reason, and maybe it puts more, credence into the story of Flo being on the hot seat to a certain degree, and maybe Greer more so. Is yes, we know that Flo is a defensive-minded head coach, but at the same time, if like everyone said, if you want to draft Lotto, okay, that's fine. But if you want to draft again a good offensive lineman in areas and all the other suggestions, where do you say, okay, I know you want your high-priced defensive end, whatever, but what's best for the team is to double up in the first round on offense, and then let's see where the board falls. Or, where does that, just like with Noah, reaching on Noah, where does, I want to make this perfect defense, but I'm also hindering the offense at the same time.
Yeah.
Or I mean, there were other players even on defense. Like I was a Xavien McKinney, I think that's his name, the safety. I was a Xavien McKinney fan, and they could have gotten him in Noah's spot, right? Like, or any other number of defensive players. So I mean, they still could have taken a defensive player, just not somebody who doesn't have a first round grade because he's expected to be a long-term project, right? Like, I think that's kind of the big contention there is with that. And obviously goes back to the maximizing resources conversation. Did you, or did you not, And so we still have to see to a big degree. But
as you're saying right there, as you're correctly pointing out right there, if you were to do a draft right now, if the draft was tomorrow, two of the biggest needs for the Dolphins would be center and running back. Agree?
Yeah, I would say so.
I don't know.
They'd be up there for me.
I have to see how Najee does. Actually, now that I think about it, if Najee does well this season, I know that doesn't really
even
like
want Najee, man. I wanted
Najee?
Javonte Williams, dude. That's who I wanted. That guy.
That guy's pretty good.
He's gonna be better than Najee. I that's my personal opinion. I just think
I wanted J.K. Dobbins a couple years ago.
Oh, dude, I wanted J.K. Dobbins. I was so upset when the Baltimore took
that
him,
was the draft before, right? Yeah,
that was 2020.
That's when we took Noah. That was great.
We got jumped twice for running backs.
Yeah, dude, the same year we get jumped in the second round for running backs.
See, again, I've got to worry though. Go back to the year before. How do you evaluate J.K. Dobbins over Jonathan Taylor? Like
exactly.
That's fair.
Played
that's
really
fair.
well.
That's fair. That's fair. No, that's
but
fair.
I think in that same sense,
and then we did get jumped for him too, to rub it in our face, right? Like,
yeah, because they should. You know what? Listen, the Chiefs started the run. You should have just taken him at 39. See, this is my thing. I said this on Miami Sports Music yesterday. I really think this regime is arrogant. I don't think it's about valuing. I think it's arrogance. And I'm talking about the draft. Like, they think players are going to fall in their lap and they're just going to get good value. Like, this isn't the PFN mock draft, okay? Like, life doesn't work like that. And I've also heard that the Baltimore Ravens really valued Robert Hunt, and that was going to be their pick. So they took J.K. Dobbins just to spite us because they had Mark Ingram at the time. And they wanted Robert Hunt with that pick.
Yeah,
exactly.
So we took the guy they wanted, and then they just turned around and took the running back we wanted. They screwed them. They screwed themselves. Like, here's my thing. And you had all that capital. Why not trade up? Like,
and that's
why not trade up from 56? Trade up from 56. Go get JK. Then trade up from 70. Yes, we don't get Brandon Jones, but then you get Raekwon.
And that's what I was saying is before.
Play.
But you can be mad about the the player picks, but just like Reason said, hindsight is always 2020. But the thing that frustrates everyone is not even a hindsight 2020, but just based on value of these drafts. You start scratching your head and you're like, what are you doing?
Well, they took the same arrogant approach with running back this year. They thought someone was going to fall to them at 36, bro.
Yeah,
and that was the whole thing about the defensive player thing. They reached on a defensive player last year and this year.
Yeah, their job is
situation.
Their job is to get that shit right, though, right? Like the hindsight 2020 conversation. Like we can all look back at the facts after they become the facts and say, oh, well, that's correct. But their job is to be able to project that shit ahead of time, right? So like they need to be able to get that right. They can't just be waiting around to see, well, hey, did we get it right or didn't we? They're supposed to.
That's what they're doing.
Exactly, and that's what's frustrating with that.
Yeah.
Right, especially with did any of you guys really think we were going to take Jalen Phillips at 18?
I knew. I was telling everyone. I was telling everyone. Hold on. I was telling everyone we were taking a pass rusher.
Yeah, but did you think it was exactly going to be Jalen Phillips?
I thought. Also, see, I didn't know about Azeez Ojulari's combine stuff. I didn't know that his check.
Yeah.
I didn't know about his health check. But I had us taking Azeez at 18.
So did I.
Yeah, and that was my thing. We have that pattern of drafting offense, then defense.
Stop falling around in love with Najee. They're not going to turn around and take a running back at 18. Not going to happen.
No, exactly, and that's what scares me is you as Greer and Flo, you got to know, hey, if this is the year we got to double up on offense in the first round versus, hey, we're going to take one offense, one defense. We're going to hope the defensive player takes out. You stop playing that game. You know that you got the defense in line. Keep fucking Howard happy. Keep that core together. Yeah, you can replace, gunners and secondary and tertiary players, but stop playing with the core of that defense and settle on something and say, okay, we now know we got a decent to great defense that's giving us great chances to win. And let's say, hey, if we got to spend the first top 2 picks on offense, let's do it. Swallow it. If you want to take that project defensive player, do it in the second round. Stop playing with our first round picks. Not everybody's going to be stupid enough like the Texans to give us all these great deals. So stop wasting.
Many draft picks.
Stop wasting. Exactly.
You created this cachet of draft picks over the last 2 years, and you don't move up to get blue chip. You move up to get like Solomon McKinley in the 4th, 5th round.
Exactly. And fucking Eichenberg.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, come on.
And then here's the other thing.
Give up a good pick next year
and
to
I
have
knew
a guaranteed player this year.
And then the arrogance too. Here, look at this. Sewell falls to your lap in 6. Again, Waddle, I was telling everyone we were going to draft Waddle, so whatever. And when we moved out to 6, I said we're taking a receiver, and Waddle was my wide receiver 1. I was like, we're going to take Waddle, okay? Number 2, everyone knows that Sewell train, this was the train station inside the NFL. That train left here, okay? And I told it, and he falls into your lap, the best tackle in the draft, falls into your lap, and I know I can evaluate tackles, all right? I mean, hey, I'm the one, when some people didn't even know his name, was telling all Tristan Wirfs in October 2019 on TD FinSock. I was telling all y'all Tristan Wirfs is the move. He's the best tackle in this class. We already know how that worked out after 1 year, okay?
But it took him 2.
And Jedrick Wills was my number 2 tackle. We know how that worked out, okay? He was the second best tackle in that class last year easily, and they moved him from right to left, but I digress. All right, the number 1 tackle falls into your lap at 6. You're so arrogant that in a wide receiver class deeper than the year prior, you turn around and you say, I'm going to take a wide receiver, okay? And this is where I hated being right, but it is what it is. And you come back around and the tackle run starts after you, again, Javon Holland, a guy I've been talking about since last August, a guy who I made a video in October that I had him in on players Dolphin fans should watch. He was in my top 10. Okay, someone I said was the number 1 safety in the draft. All that stuff, all right? I again, right, but I didn't like being right. Tevin Jenkins, a natural right tackle, falls to you at 36, and you pass up on that, and then you turn around and you overpay to move up to 42 for a guy who doesn't have the same ceiling or the same floor as either one of those guys, and who with short arms, problems handling guys with bend around the arc and speed and athleticism, you're going to shift them from left tackle to right tackle. And because now he's got to learn to move with his whole right side of his body. I've showed, y'all have seen it. I put up the footage of not only Penei Sewell playing right tackle, but absolutely dominating at right tackle, making people look foolish. So the kid can do it. And then salt in the wound, the fucking Lions come out the next day and say, we already got Taylor Decker at left tackle. We're going to move Penei Sewell to right tackle. Like, bro, the arrogance. Because, here's my thing. Now, in my eyes, Eichenberg and Waddle for the rest of their career are going to be compared to Penei Sewell.
Yeah.
And here's another thing. You want to hear even a scary stat? I think it's like 60 or 70% of tackles in the top 10 hit. Receivers is like 30, 40%.
Yeah.
Like way lower, bro. Like, this is what I'm saying. And look at all these delusional Dolphins. They've got people out here thinking and expecting Waddle gets 1,000 yards in his rookie season, bro.
Yeah.
You set this kid up for expectations where these people don't realize he's going to be pigeonholed to the slot for at least the first year. So it's not like he's going to be out on the boundary smoking fools. You know what I mean? We haven't had a rookie get over 800 yards as a receiver since Chris Chambers did it when he had 880 plus yards. That was like
the only way he's doing it. The only way he's doing it is catching 10 passes for 100 yards.
And just eating the yak, bro.
Yep. Eating
but I mean, that's
because you can't sit here and expect that just because he blew out college, defenders, stop fucking playing it.
Brian Flores is a defensive genius. You will never hear me say anything different. I have my personal doubts, and it's not just him. I have my personal doubts about him and our scouting staff's ability to evaluate the offensive line and for us to put together a cohesive
and the defensive line
and for us to put a cohesive offensive unit and offensive coaching staff together. Because you know what? The cherry on top of having this 3 sophomore guys that need to take massive leaps of equal stature. You got to have a rookie right tackle, Ian Eichenberg, limit the rookie curves, limit the rookie mistakes. You need Max Skura to find 2018 form. On top of all that, we've got a rookie offensive line coach. He's been an assistant. Yes, he played the position. Whole hell of a lot different when now everyone in the room turns to you. And it's all on you.
All eyes are on you.
But I got the
should have got Brian Billick when he was available for offensive coordinator.
Last year we had Steve Marshall, who came from a college program to be a first-year defense or offensive line coach, and that's where I think that exactly. That's where I feel like we got to get some NFL quality coaches. Stop trying to always reach for the college coaches.
Let me ask you this, Chris. If you think about it, because everyone forgets Jim Caldwell. If you think about it, we're on our 4th and 5th offensive coordinator right now in the Brian Flores era. Okay?
Yep.
Facts. Yeah.
Isn't anyone else worried? Matt Canada didn't want to come here. Okay?
Yeah.
And you can tell they wanted him a lot because what is DVP saying? We're doing more motion than we've ever done. Okay, he didn't want to come here. Buddy, you couldn't get the Clemson offensive coordinator to take a massive leap in his career because he wants to stick around. And Dabo Swinney ain't leaving anytime soon, bro. Dabo Swinney's younger than Nick Saban, I'm pretty sure. He ain't leaving anytime soon.
But I want to say that on this now.
Hold on, I'm not done.
Went to school in Carolina.
You couldn't get the quarterback coach from San Francisco to come here. Who's never going to be
what I was
anything more
trying
than
to
a
say.
passing coordinator under Shanahan. You couldn't get legitimate guys to take jumps in terms of working positions and to have better jobs that they can throw on their resume. None of those guys wanted a part of it. And don't give me the Tua nonsense.
And Reason, don't forget about Ken Dorsey.
No, I
don't forget
think
about
it's about
Dorsey,
that.
Reason.
Well, now my question is how much of it was these other coordinators, college or NFL, saw the way that we did Chan Gailey and was like, yeah, no, I don't want to be if I want to be a part of that.
See, here it is. Pete, it's not due to quarterback play. Give me a break, bro. He's had the best fucking rookie season in over a decade at 60%. It's not the quarterback, bro.
I think
it's not because
it has a lot to do with that fucking
it's
upstairs.
The management,
upstairs.
Do you not understand how coaches work? They're all like Flores. They're egotistical. They think they can make any player work and develop any player.
Right.
Bro, why do you think we traded for Josh Rosen? Why do you think we traded for Josh Rosen? I told people why we traded for Josh Rosen. Because Chad O'Shea. Because Josh Rosen had a high grade by the New England Patriots when Chad O'Shea was part of that staff, and he walked in to Brian Flores' offense and said, get me this kid. I can make him work.
Facts, exactly.
That's exactly what happened.
That's why we went out and got him.
Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
mean, that was
that's exactly it.
That's the quarterback play.
We got like a 3rd round pick too.
That's a fucking asinine comment. And Pete,
I can't read his.
Lately, you've actually had some really good, Pete. You've actually had some really good comments over the past couple of streams, but you're letting your feelings and emotions and hatred for Tua skew your outlook. It's not because of him, bro. It's not because of him.
And
because everyone sees. What do you think's going on? Everyone sees the fucking merry-go-round. Same thing with players. Well, you know what? You got to think about it this way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, how do you think veteran players, they all talk. How do you think they feel we handled the Eric Flowers and Kyle Van Noy situation? Take your homerism out of it. How do you think they feel about that? If we turn around again, why do you think they only gave out 1-year deals this year? Why do you think it wasn't just because of COVID? It was because we can get out of it and we're not going to look bad.
And there's 3 things.
Because you know what the thing is? With Kyle Van Noy, bro, everyone says, that's your boy, Flores. That's not some... Bro, everyone could sit there and say, well, Green makes a final signing. Dude, you think Flores doesn't have guys he walks into the room and says, get me this guy by any means necessary? Kyle Van Noy was Kyle Van Noy was the exact perfect example of that. And look at how quickly he turned on his boy. And you know what? Yeah. I don't like Kyle Van Noy, but to his fairness, he was battling some injuries last year. Yeah. You know what I mean? And
don't whine about him like a little bitch.
Here's the thing, too. Why do you think Xavien Howard is saying, give me my money now?
Yeah.
It's not just about respect. He's saying, yo, I got no more guaranteed money. These guys could cut bait with me as soon as they feel they've used me up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Tua, you think players in this room aren't hearing this nonsense and aren't saying, whoa, you're about to draft a guy 5th overall and you're ready to move off of him right away? And he's not even at full health? How do you think players view that? Players are like, are you crazy? Bro, players, you know what they say when they come to Miami now? I got to take care of me and mine. I can't. Why do you think X is worried about his money? He's like, I can't live off your word. I don't want to see no handshake. Put the dollar signs up.
Yeah. I want
to. And that's where I feel like Flores fucked himself because they played all these games and you want to put off this persona that you're, Foxborough the second and all that Belichick bullshit. But at some point, again, has he consistently proven that he's going to be a dominant cornerback? When he's healthy, yes. When he's not, you don't know what you're going to get. So it's kind of like, again, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
If he's not healthy, you're not going to get anything. I think that's pretty clear.
Exactly. You're damned if you do, damned if be gone.
So I want to add a couple things to that. So I mean, it's not even just those players. You got to also think. I mean, there's the drama obviously right now with Xavien Howard, but there was the drama with Minka Fitzpatrick.
Okay.
The fact he told Laramie Tunsil he wasn't going to trade him and then traded him. The Kenny Stills. So many people forget about the Kenny Stills drama, right? Like that between him and Flo, right? After he made those comments
this is
about
a
Stephen
ridiculous
Ross.
comment, Pete, because the quarterback coach from San Francisco, guess what? Tua fits a West Coast scheme perfectly. That's a ridiculous comment, bro. Anyways, continue. You imagine Tua in San Francisco?
Oh yeah,
Lord.
Bro, Tua
Yeah.
fall the fuck out, bro. Are you kidding me right now?
Well, and they have
Exactly.
And yo, here's the other thing.
The
The Minka Fitzpatrick, I don't actually put on Flores because Ballgame can attest to it because he heard the same thing. I heard it had something to do with Xavien Howard's girlfriend.
And that's why I said earlier, that's where I don't want him to bitch out and create no drama.
Yeah,
between
I
teammates. When it comes to like locker room presence and all that, stop playing that bullshit.
Yeah, I heard basically just of the story was Minka and X's girlfriend were getting like too close for X's liking. X stepped in, said stop. And
exactly, and that's where you can't fuck with the veterans like that.
Yeah,
and
then I heard Minka went into Brian Flores' office and asked for out to get out.
Yeah, well, we all know he wanted. We all know he wanted to get out.
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Like
I didn't know about
that's why he had no problem playing the multiple positions when he went to Pittsburgh.
Exactly. That's what I said earlier in the comments.
That's why he had no problem doing that because it was actually way deeper than that. That's how they spun it to us publicly. That's how they spun it to us publicly. But apparently, it was about X's girl.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
That's interesting.
They didn't slam or anything. As far as I know, they didn't slam. But like, they were hanging out. They were like texting. It was getting.
It was causing drama. It was.
It was getting. And X apparently told them, "Yo, stop."
Yeah. I also want
fire.
That's weird.
I also wanted to,
and that's where again, as a rookie player, where are you going to show fucking respect? And that's that they don't understand. This is a pro association. Everybody's good. Don't fuck with people. You don't want to cross the wrong people, and it's crazy.
And you know what I hate about these Tua haters? You know what the excuse going to be when he balls out? Oh well, we got him weapons.
Right.
They're the same people. They're the same people that say, "Oh, we should have never got Tannehill," when Tannehill just got surrounded by weapons galore.
Yeah, it's funny that.
Yeah,
it's crazy how so many people just flipped on this guy, man.
Bro, you know why, bro? It's because this is why I never made player comps with this guy. It's because the national media was like Breeze, Russell Wilson, not realizing that Breeze, Russell Wilson after some development, bro, not out of the gate. Like, and people forget. I brought it up before. Do people forget what Breeze was as a Charger? Like, is that lost on people?
He was unpolished.
Bro, Doug Flutie, he could barely hold Doug Flutie off, bro.
But they don't want to think about that. They don't want to fucking accept that.
Yeah, and don't forget when the Dolphins were looking at picking Breeze or Culpepper, the records were very, very similar. It was just that the Breeze shoulder injury was making Miami twitcher.
Biggest red flag.
Yeah.
Colin Cowherd did Tua pretty dirty, yeah.
Dude, he always goes back and forth too. Did you see that video? What he did with
listening to that guy a while ago?
The Super
He
Bowl
always has some ridiculous takes.
Oh my god,
dude!
He'll like
going on that documentary and then just shitting on him afterwards.
Dude, I have no words. Like, he will flip back and forth between like who he likes and who he hates. Like, I swear to God, every single.
Dude,
month.
Have y'all heard Tre'Davious White talk about
that guy?
No, I didn't hear that. What do you say? Reason?
Shout out to Tilly because she posted like when Mahomes talked about him. She posted when players talk about him. When Tre'Davious White talked about him, he's like, "Yo, they got their guy."
Wow.
Like he gave Tua nothing but props.
That's good.
And that's one of the better corners in the NFL.
And we need more of that.
They don't want to talk about that reason. They don't want to talk about none of that.
No,
dude, you want me to tell you something? Want me to drop a tidbit? I was told that multiple players this offseason conveyed to someone that they knew as soon as they were dealing with Chan Gailey last year that he wasn't the guy.
I mean, I don't know, man. It's like Jen Gailey's offense is a lot different. We know that Jen Gailey's offense was a lot different from Tua's offense, and we could tell by like how different the playbook was. But
yeah, I mean that's another situation
limited,
though, where you can't you got to evaluate these coaches right too, right? Not just players, but these coaches. Like you can't keep having so much change, especially on the offense, right? Like where there's been all this change. Like there's got to be continuity and.
I mean,
you know what my problem is? We're creating
dude.
a culture where it feels like we're blaming the players. Like you're not good enough. You're gone.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like the
it's very
players are the ones that are on the
paint-based.
field. That's why people think
And
like people
Florida's
think
doing
that
the same thing.
I don't know. I feel like, man, people look at players because they're out in the field. They're the ones that are like each there for each snap. The coaches aren't there, so they're like, oh, the player's not good. Then it's not the coach's fault. Then it's the player's not. I don't know. Just like not doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly. Because again, we're in the situation where even with the defense, we had players that were missing and whatever, and Flores still overachieved in the first year. He overachieved last year, but now all of a sudden we got to focus on offense and get that part right, and all of a sudden it's a complete struggle. And we've had multiple OTs. I think that Jim Caldwell would have been great for Tua, but he had his sickness or health problems or whatever. But then what do we have left? We have Chad O'Shea and all this shit, and Gailey and whatever. And
well, and one thing I wanted to mention too about the context of the Dolphins coaches over the past couple years. Not only has there been a turnstile, but you mentioned how other coaches from other teams don't want to take job title upgrades to come to Miami. A lot of these guys took either similar title positions,
horizontal moves.
Or even a couple of them took downgrades in positions when leaving here. It's ridiculous. So you can't have that, right? You just can't have that. You can't have coaches and players that don't want to be here, one. And two, you need to be able to identify coaches and players, properly evaluate them, and then develop them and keep them around. So that way you can have that continuity, consistency, chemistry, etc.
So
I'll tell you right now, mark my words. If they move off of Godsey and Studesville, you know what the next move is? I'll tell you right now. They're going to promote Charlie Fry.
Oh
man.
Maybe no one wants to work for Flo. Is that why we can't get anybody on the outside?
I don't know. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, why can't we get all these guys? I mean, bro, being the offensive coordinator in Clemson to being the offensive coordinator in the NFL is not only a huge pay raise and helps you take care of your family better. It looks, if you can produce with, here's my question. Why didn't they move heaven and earth to bring in Pep Hamilton? Bro, he came to Indianapolis after he left Stanford with Luck, reunited with Luck, top 5 offense in the NFL with Indianapolis. Look at what he did last year with Justin Herbert. Pep Hamilton is a quarterback whisperer, not Adam Gase. Okay,
No.
why aren't you making that move?
I feel like maybe he wanted to train Justin Herbert. Maybe he wanted to stay to train Justin Herbert so that
he's gone. He's not there.
Oh,
yeah.
I forgot about that.
He's not there.
Yeah, they fired the whole staff when they fired Anthony.
Oh, I forgot about that. I thought that I only fired the head coach. I must have.
My choice is they need to find a way to get Brian Billick. He's an offensive genius in my book.
Wow.
I like Brian Billick. That's who they need.
You think
he's sitting on that CBS money, bro?
Well, even if they were to get him, it wouldn't be this year though, right? So if they're changing offensive coordinators again in the next year, I mean that's not good.
Dude, it's not
good.
But
let me ask you this: if they change offensive coordinators again, are we going to finally hear him take some accountability?
Someone needs to.
Someone needs to. He's right.
Flores
needs to. Flores needs to.
Well, I mean, if we're I've
5 offensive coordinators in 3 years, if that happens. Bro, someone got to answer for that one, bro.
Well, that's the thing.
And not to mention that I feel like Brian Billick.
Yeah, that position is like a turnstile.
And I wish I could sit down and have a talk with Jim Caldwell, because remember, he left because of health issues Then like a
Yeah.
couple months later, it's like I'm ready to come back.
Man,
The-
that's
the-
And it's like
Exactly.
what?
That's what doesn't make sense.
The Tennessee
Yeah, that's a
Titans
little
did the same
weird.
thing to Marcus Mariota. He had a
And you know what's
year
crazy?
OT every single year. They
Jim
couldn't keep him.
Caldwell, as a coach and coordinator, has been to a Super Bowl.
Do you know
Yeah.
what? As well,
But even if
we,
he
we
hasn't,
should have.
Yeah.
the fact that
We should
he had the familiarity, he had the right type of mindset. And whether it was, health reasons, personal reasons, I'm not going to
Bro.
speculate on any of that.
I
But
would
the
have waited
fact
for him.
that-
I would have given him time off and said, "Yo, when you're ready, come back. This job's yours."
Exactly.
Excuse me,
100%.
Chan.
And
Move out
that's
of the
why I
way.
don't feel like
100%.
we pushed him out the door. And even if we got some like Brian, Billick, it's the same shit with Gailey. You want some archaic ass bullshit? Go for it. But you gotta want someone who's close to NFL circles who knows what's going on. And I'm sorry, I don't know who else beat that.
You know what? I would
Exactly,
have,
Maho. Caldwell is the coach that should have never been
Maho.
fired for Patricia. He went to the playoffs, bro. I think back-to-back seasons.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy?
Stop the drought.
Here's the thing. We all know Flores is controlling, okay? We all know that. Because just that's the New England vibe. Like, it's not I don't hold it against him. It's basically how he was groomed as a coach. So I don't hold it against him. And the other thing is Jim Caldwell would have been an alpha. You would have had two serious alpha. Because let's be honest, Chan Gailey looks like a beta. All right. You would have had two serious alphas in that room. And we all know if it didn't work out with good old Brian, they would have said, "Hey, Jimmy, you're next up, buddy."
And that's what I was trying to get at is that whole Flores doesn't want to bring in somebody good enough to try to compete with him versus are you really trying to bring in the best person to help you win? And that's what's debatable.
I think he's trying to bring in the best person, but the slim pickings.
Yeah.
It's just a can be sometimes.
Yeah, but if Ross is willing to put out that money, I don't know. I don't know if it's best.
You know how much
available
money?
or
You know how
if
much
it's
money I would
just
have
he's
offered?
willing to come.
You guys remember I had like a shirt and everything like that. Do you know how much money I would have offered Steve Sarkisian to come here?
Oh yeah.
I would have offered that guy head coach money, bro. And I would have said, "Fix my offense. Here's your quarterback. Go fix it."
Have fun.
Because you know what the thing is,
can I ask you a
boys?
question real quick?
Yeah. One sec. If you would have got in Steve Sarkisian, guess what you could have said? I've done everything I can for Tua. I've even went out and got his coordinator. If Tua don't work out, it's all on him. Anyways, Daryl, go ahead.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to ask you because you said it a few times on a couple of other streams where Brian Flores can be a control freak at times, and more power to him because it is who he is. But do you think it's a situation where sometimes, as a head coach, of course he wants to win, of course he wants the best for the team, but he also wants his respect at the same time, meaning that the people who the Dolphins bring in to coach with them, he wants them to respect the fact that he's basically the head guy in charge and he doesn't want people to step over his toes to make sure that certain things get done a certain way?
Like an exact quote I've been told is the exact quote again. Brian Flores wants everyone in the room to know he's the alpha.
Right.
Take that for what it's worth. And the people that let me tell y'all without telling y'all, the people that I've heard he's controlling and overly controlling from are from people close to players, including Tua. So, I mean, you can do that math. You don't have to. I don't have to spell that one out for you. Who that could possibly be that told me that.
Okay, so I want to ask a question to the entire panel then, based upon what you just mentioned. Do you think when push comes to shove, Brian Flores will willingly listen to those around him if it's a situation where he can't come to a better understanding as to how he should attack a certain situation, whether that be on offense or defense? Do you think he'll be, I don't want to say man enough, but do you think he'll be wise enough to, I guess, listen to the people that are with him?
I think so. I think so.
So I would like to think so. My pushback on that is one, my instinct with just egotistical controlling people in general is my answer would be no. But also, I mean, with the way that there has been so much churning and stuff, I don't know. I mean, does he listen to any of these guys? I mean, he's constantly firing them and changing
Yeah,
everything
it's so
out.
true.
So like, is he listening to them? Because I
And
can't tell.
Dylan, you know why I heard? Okay, so this is just these play into each other. The reason why he kept going to he benched Tua for Fitz is because he's getting frustrated with the tempo Chan Gailey was calling the offense at under Tua, and then that continued on, and that's why Chan Gailey's not here, because he wanted a more up-tempo offense than what Chan Gailey was offering him. Twin Tucker says the problem I hear from Tua's fam is he's too nice, and he was right though. The problem I hear from Tua's fam is he's too nice to say no. He built that friendship with Saban, but he's too much of a yes sir with Flo. Culture teaches too much blind respect, even if it don't work. So like, people got to get it wrong. Yes, I think he's controlling, but he's not going to sabotage. And if something makes sense to him or someone makes a good point, he's going to listen to them. Like I just said, he was 110% right with the tempo. Chan Gailey. Listen, I've said this before. Chan Gailey, right? When Tua ran that no huddle against the Chiefs, Chan Gailey was asked, "Did you know he could run the no huddle like that?" He said no. The next week, he's telling all the reporters, "I don't like that no huddle nonsense." When you just saw how good Tua executed that, you're not like, "What the fuck are you doing here, bro?"
Why would you?
Like, I get it. No huddle's not sustainable through a full game.
Yeah.
But bro, you can get a rhythm with your offense going no huddle early on.
Yeah, I don't know why you would think he can't do that. Like,
yeah, I agree with that too. Yeah, he's a quick rhythmic passer. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why you would think that. I mean, look, the whatever going in last year, knowing 40%, whatever the playbook shit. Like the dude obviously can operate in that environment.
Yeah,
like I don't know why you would say that he can't. Like it's a silly thing, right? I mean, he's operating a lot of those quick hitting, RPO type offenses, and like I don't know why you would say that. That just doesn't make any sense.
I guess we
exactly.
can.
Why not set your fucking quarterback up for success? Stop fucking.
I guess we can add that to the many reasons as to why it's probably a good thing Chan Gailey isn't here anymore.
I mean, in my opinion, man, when it comes to it with Tua, I feel like up tempo and like using the no huddle to his advantage really worked out, and I felt like he was able to get the ball out a lot faster. I feel like he was more comfortable. I felt like when he was using more up tempo plays. Honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. It fits his play style. It totally fits his play style.
And with Chan, it was like I feel like he came in and he was like, all right, I'm gonna teach Fitzpatrick. Like I'm gonna have Fitzpatrick as my starter throughout the rest of the season. And in my opinion, I don't think that Chan Gailey was prepared for the switch. I don't think that Chan Gailey was ready for.
They didn't even sit him down and tell him it was happening.
Yeah, I feel like Chan was just like he was just like, okay, I know you're not gonna like this, but we're gonna throw Tua in here, and we want you to style the offense that you saw for Fitzpatrick. I want you to style for somebody that doesn't even have the same style that he does, and still work around it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I get that argument, but you can't make the argument that again, if you are aware that they're making a switch.
Yeah.
You have to be able to say, hey, I know he knows this portion of the playbook. I'm going to give him every opportunity he can to succeed, not just wait for Fitzpatrick to come in and save us.
Hey,
that's where I had the issue.
Real quick, I just saw that apparently Patrick Chung has made his retirement official.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Patrick Chung is officially retired.
All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Let's go through some final thoughts. Let's start with you, Dylan. Go ahead.
Final thoughts. Crazy day. Lots of stuff going on. But it was a good chat. It was a good discussion. I'm honestly, my big focus right now is just, the upcoming stuff. I mean, training camp's going to be great and there's going to be a lot to learn from it, but I'm really waiting for those preseason games, man, because I want to put my eyes on the team and, I want to see if the hype is true, right? Like, and if all that stuff. So I want to see how they perform on the field, and I'm looking forward to that.
Healer. Yo, guys, stick around. Healer. Go ahead. Your thoughts, buddy.
All right, man. Well, I gotta say, man, it's definitely a pretty good day. I feel like we got some pretty decent pieces today. I feel like we're definitely getting closer and closer to the answer for X and what's gonna happen to him. But I'm excited for training camp. I'm excited for preseason, man, and I'm excited to watch Tua play again, man. And I'm excited for this season.
Daryl.
Yeah.
Your opinion, bro.
Well, before I get into that, first things first, thank you, Reason, because it feels like the last few times when I came on your stream, I kind of got dealt a bad hand in terms of the delay that was on my side. But
Yeah. Now you're crystal clear.
Yeah. I'm happy that my voice is coming through clear and there's not that annoying delay. But nevertheless,
Stick around, because I'll stick around. Just let me just say that, okay? After I end here, stick around.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. But nevertheless, as far as my thoughts on the team, like everybody else, I'm excited. I'm anxious, nervous, all that, and then some. You know, I am really, really, really hoping for the best, and I hope that the guys that are there, whether it's players, coaches, that they're really, really doing all they can to make sure that the product that they put out there is one that we can also have hope for. And for Tua, people are going to say what they want to say. I personally believe in him and think that he's due for a big year. And for the people who aren't sold on him or anybody else, hopefully this team gives them a reason to believe. You know, that's pretty much all I've got to say.
Chris, your final thoughts.
Real quick, I love the community. Fins up for everybody. With Reason, as I always say, every time I'm up here, listen to him. He knows what he's talking about. Stop playing all these half-hearted shows out there. I think that with X, we need to just deal with it. As far as Tua, we need to let him develop. The offensive line concerns me to a certain degree, but it is what it is. And that's really all I got to say.
There you go, Pete. Now you're making good comments. Preseason has never been this exciting. There's a lot of battles. Logan 15, your final thoughts, buddy.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me up here. I really love your show, obviously.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I just hope they know what they're doing with the assets that they spent. You know, that offensive line is, we're going to find out if they overpay for Eichenberg or not, right? So
yeah.
Hopefully he works out. I'm definitely a big Tua fan, so that Watson thing kind of worries me. I understand if they do it, but I really don't want them to.
Me neither.
And
Me neither.
yeah, just can't wait. Can't wait till Tuesday, man.
Yeah.
And I want to apologize to everyone for all the nonsense that everyone had to deal with today. But I ain't apologizing to the people at Drag because they can go fuck themselves. So, all right. I will be back Monday night. Hopefully, one of you guys, because I don't want to turn my VPN on. Can one of you check if NFL Game Pass is working right now? Because I checked yesterday and they said they were preparing for the 2021 season, right?
Yep, that's what comes up.
Yeah,
We're getting ready for 2021. We'll be back
season.
shortly.
Yeah. So when they're back, I'll get my Raekwon Davis stuff done. So I'm literally just waiting on a couple plays in that. But anyways, all right, guys, I will see y'all on Monday night. I might pop up on Larry's show tomorrow night because the wife has a wedding to go to, and I got to stay home with the 7-month-old, so I'll be around. But all right, guys, I hope everyone has a great weekend. Love y'all, appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all on the next one.
Hands up, everybody.